Hi, everyone. I'm Tommy Todd. Coming up on the Comtrex NFL Playoffs Halftime Report, Joel Myers and John Riggins will join me from Seattle to look at the NFC title game. But right now it's time for Game 1, the AFC title tilt. Pittsburgh at Denver. Let's return to Invesco Field and rejoin Marv Albert and Boomer Esiason. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Tommy. And Boomer has made his way back to the broadcast studio, and not looking too well. Okay?
This altitude's killing me, Marv.
All right, time now for Boomer's Tools to Victory, brought to you by Milwaukee Electric Tool, the innovative mind behind the V28 lithium-ion cordless tool system. Boomer, just take it slow.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh better get used to this altitude, I'm telling you right now. But, you know, when you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're thinking of playmakers, and two playmakers on defense, Joey Porter and Troy Polamalu. They are so active. They make things happen. So they have to continue their play. If Steve Smith was the most explosive offensive player in this year's playoff, then Troy Polamalu has to be the most explosive defensive player. So you have to expect plays from him. And on the offensive side, it's got to be Hines Ward. And the reason I say Hines Ward is because he's going to get a lot of single coverage today. He's going to see Champ Bailey a lot. That's going to be a heck of a battle. And with Denver blitzing and passing situations, he is going to have an opportunity to make a few big plays down the field. And Big Ben, I'm sure, will get the ball to him.
All right, Boomer, what about Denver?
Well, it's easy, Marv. It's no turnovers. Since Jake Plummer became the quarterback for Mike Shanahan, everybody has wondered, when will that mistake take place? So far this year, Jake has been very good at limiting the mistakes. And against this opportunistic defense, a defense that is going to create pressure, you know, that is going to force him into, you know, making mistakes if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and if you are a Denver Bronco fan, hopefully he's going to be protected. I do not believe that he will be as exposed as Peyton Manning was last week. Mike Shanahan saw all those blitzes. He's going to make sure he keeps a fullback and a tight end, and he's going to make sure that he shores up the middle so Jake Plummer doesn't get forced into a bad mistake. And then, of course, on defense, listen, they gave up over 400 yards to the New England Patriots last week. It was a pretty good whitewashing from the Patriots offense, with the exception of the turnovers. And that was the big key why they won last week. So they have to create a couple turnovers on defense and look for Champ Bailey to have that opportunity as Ben Roethlisberger tries to force the ball downfield to Hines Ward.
And you look at the stats, Jake Plummer, 7 interceptions for the entire season. 2 were in that opening Miami game, and it turns out that was an aberration as you look at the rest of the Broncos season.
You know, but he did throw an interception last week against New England, and there are opportunities for plays to be made for Pittsburgh. I will say this, that Mike Shanahan has probably amazed himself that he's here at this point in the season with this quarterback, because this is not John Elway. He's a good player. He's not a great over-the-top player, and you always have to wonder whether or not he's going to revert back to mistakes by Jake. I don't think he will, but then again, this is a defense that can get after you pretty good in Pittsburgh.
All right, those are Boomer's Tools to Victory, brought to you by Milwaukee Electric Tool, the innovative mind behind the V28 lithium-ion cordless tool system. As we continue with our pregame show, John Dockery will talk with the head coach of the Steelers, Bill Cowher. This is Westwood One's coverage of the National Football League.
Engine light on, vehicle making a funny noise, or you just want a place you can trust to do the work you need on your car or truck. Waltz Automotive and Transmission Center is your full one-stop automotive service center. Engines, transmissions, brakes, electrical, fleet service, tune-ups, air conditioning, they do it all. Take your favorite vehicle to Waltz Automotive at 527 North Beach Street, or call Steve at 252-1727 and get your transportation in tip-top shape today. 527 North Beach Street, call 252-1727. Waltz Automotive and Transmission Center.
If you're wild about your hair, stop in at the #1 full-service salon in Ormond Beach, Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road. You can get a full set of pink and white acrylics for just $35. Low light and highlight special with Greg for $75. A manicure and pedicure, $75 for both. Call 673-9898 for an appointment. That's 673-9898. Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road.
Magic Overhead Door Company, located at 528 North Beach Street, Daytona Beach, are the ones you can trust with over 30 years experience installing Genie garage doors and servicing any make and model garage door. Magic Overhead Door Company also does gate access systems. For the best in customer service and satisfaction, the ones to call are Magic Overhead Door Company, fully licensed and insured, a company you can trust with over 30 years experience. 253-5396, 253-5396.
Next time you're in the Volusia Mall, give yourself a break for some great food or a cold one at Mr. Dunderbox. Happy hour daily from 3 till 6 p.m. with 12 beers on tap, including Guinness Stout, Hackisher, Spot and Dark, and Oktoberfest. And remember, Mr. Dunderbox was voted best around for the best German food for 15 straight years. They also have a daily sandwich special, or try Mr. Dunderbox's great chicken wings, burgers, or onion rings. And don't forget about our great gift baskets, too. That's Mr. Dunderbox in the Volusia Mall.
Wicks and Sticks in the Volusia Mall is the favorite candle store in the Central Florida area. You'll also find Yankee jars, wax potpourri, simmer pots, oil lamps, and unique gifts. The mission of Wicks and Sticks is to offer you the highest quality of affordable fragrance candles that you'll find anywhere in the Central Florida area. Quite simply put, Wicks and Sticks candles have to be seen to be believed. And with a variety of wonderful fragrance candles, you'll enjoy hours of pleasure. And for you men, if you're stumped for a gift, women love gifts from Wicks and Sticks in the Volusia Mall.
Every Wednesday, United Way Day, Big Talk with Big John, W-E-L-E, Ormond Beach, Florida.
The ball is batted around. It is batted around and almost caught. The Steelers say they've won. The officials say the ball is down. It was Aaron Bailey who thought he had it.
I think I saw it hit the ground, but they had a distinct chance. They had two different Colt receivers had a chance to catch that ball in the end zone and send themselves to the Super Bowl.
On that one play, it came down to Hail Mary, and the Steelers, Bill Cowher,
is crying.
But in his fourth year as a head coach, he's taken his team to 4 straight playoffs. Now he's taken his team to the Super Bowl. Our David, Pat Hayden with the call on CBS Radio. That was 10 years ago in Pittsburgh. The Steelers holding on to beat the Colts in the AFC title game and advance to the Super Bowl for the only time in Bill Cowher's 14-year tenure, with the Steelers then losing to the Dallas Cowboys. For more on the Steelers, let's go to John Dockery.
You know, Marv, before I get to that Bill Cowher moment 10 years ago, the Steeler coach talked about dealing with the Denver Blitz. And he feels his Steelers are ready because of all the blitzes they use themselves and that they see in practice every day. I then asked Cowher how his team came out of last week's emotional win over Indianapolis.
Hey, it was good, John. You know, I think we enjoyed it for a very short period of time and recognized that we got an opportunity to move on. And, you know, I think we've been in kind of this mode for a while now. So, I mean, while we've enjoyed the win, I think we realized that it was just another step. And, you know, the most important game is really the next one.
The intensity level, and I was there, seemed off the charts, seemed focused and ready. Can you tell the pulse of your team?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. They've been kind of like this, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I say that sincerely because we've been a very focused team, and you know, again, we're most of the time we've been an underdog in that situation. So I think right now we're glad to be here. We're living to play another day, and hopefully today we can come out with a fast start like we did last week.
Do you feel that kind of focus in another hostile environment?
Yeah, we do. We had a good week of work, and we know it's going to be just as loud as it was last week, and a stiffer opponent from the standpoint of defending the run and the pass and their blitz package. So we know that, you know, getting off to a good start and keeping our fans out of it, and more importantly, not turning the football over will be a big part of our success.
The most significant matchup today?
Oh, it's hard to put any one. I think as you looked at these championship games, the turnover takeaway has been a big part of it. And, you know, if we can find a way to get the ball back from them and, you know, and not turn it over, and then probably the X factor will be the kicking game, because I think that, again, you know, the field position will play a lot to do with the success on both sides.
Last question, Bill. You've been on this step before. It's been 10 years since you've been back to a Super Bowl. Does that add anything extra today?
No, just got to keep getting here, and hopefully we'll be able to take the next step today.
Good luck. Thank you very much, Coach. All right, Marv.
All right, that's John Dockery, brought to you by Consort Hair Care for Men, guaranteed to give you great hold. The opening kickoff coming up. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
A focus group of contractors somewhere outside L.A.
So how would you guys describe this new 28-volt line of tools? What words come to mind when you think of this?
Awesome.
Awesome. Excellent. Very impressive. Okay.
Makes everything else obsolete. We couldn't have said it better ourselves. The revolutionary V28 line of cordless tools from Milwaukee. 28 volts of lithium-ion power and up to twice the runtime of an 18-volt at the same weight. Take a test drive at v28power.com. Move to a higher power.
Hey, I just finished our taxes with TurboTax.
Shouldn't we have gone to one of those tax stores?
Well, TurboTax asks me questions just like H&R Block does, and then it puts the answers on all the right forms.
But the tax guy checks it.
TurboTax checks for errors and missed deductions, too.
How do we know it's right?
Honey, calculations are guaranteed accurate. Besides, over 20 million returns were prepared with TurboTax last year alone.
Huh. If it's so good, how much are we getting back?
Take a look.
Wow.
TurboTax. Taxes made easy, taxes done right. Learn more at TurboTax.com or visit a retailer near you.
They go with the flea flicker. Jackson's open deep. Touchdown.
Football may have its amazing plays, dazzling kick returns, or one-handed catches, but the teams that win know the importance of execution on every play. At UPS, we approach our job the same way. Every delivery matters because every package is important. It's why we deliver more packages on time than anyone else. Amazing plays are great. We just like the reliable ones better. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
It's energy-saving season. You've caulked, weather-stripped, and insulated everywhere, even your garage. Now what? Do you realize that your garage door may be your home's largest opening and your costliest energy waster? That's why it's smart to replace your uninsulated door with a new Wayne Dalton insulated garage door. It's a good investment you'll use and appreciate every day. See the difference a new insulated Wayne Dalton door makes. Visit WayneDalton.com and click the Save Energy icon to learn about increasing your garage door's energy efficiency.
76,000 capacity crowd at Invesco Field at Mile High as we welcome you back for the AFC Championship game. And it's time for the coin toss, brought to you by Rain-X. From windshield treatment to wax, everything you need to weatherproof your vehicle. The captains at midfield with the referee Terry McCauley. Let's pick it up.
Okay, gentlemen, this is today's coin. The helmets are heads. The NFL shield is tails. Pittsburgh's the visiting team. Their call is heads. It is tails. Denver wants the ball. Stay where you are. Denver won the toss. Will receive.
So the home team, the Denver Broncos, have won the toss, and they will receive. The Broncos have won their last 11 games here at home. Denver has never lost an AFC Championship game at home, winning their previous 4. They've won 6 of 7 AFC title games. A Denver team that went 13-3 in the regular season, won their last 4, 8 of their last 9, and then last Saturday night in the divisional beat the Patriots to snap New England's 10-game postseason winning streak. And for Denver, Boomer, their first playoff win since John Elway retired.
You know, interesting, we went out to dinner with John Elway last night, and everything is Elway out here. If it's not Broncos, it's Elway. And I don't necessarily know that there's a guy under more pressure in the playoffs this year than Jake Plummer, because he's the one that has to emerge from this shadow. And today, it's all about him limiting the mistakes. You know, I was talking to Dan Marino, John Elway last night. Every quarterback that's ever played the game is wondering whether or not he is going to make that crucial mistake and revert back to the quarterback he once was in Arizona. I don't think he will, Marv. I think he's going to play pretty good today. But I have to tell you, he's going against one very stout defense who had a performance for the ages last week against the Indianapolis Colts. And if they come with that type of performance today, it's going to be very difficult for Jake Plummer to move his offense.
Pittsburgh Steelers 11-5 in the regular season. They finished second to Cincinnati in the AFC North. Beat the Bengals in the wild card and then became the first number 6 seed to advance to the conference championship with that victory over the Colts last week. It'll be the 3-year man from Hofstra, Charlie Adams, back deep. Darren Williams, usually the kick return man, but he's back from a pulled groin injury. Cecil Sapp, backup fullback, is also back, although he is up at the 12-yard line.
That's another part of this game, too, Marv. The special teams, especially the return game for the Denver Broncos. Darren Williams has been explosive in his role as a kick returner. And even in punt returns, you're going to have Rod Smith back there. Now, Rod Smith, I think one of the great all-time underappreciated players in the history of the NFL, but doesn't have the explosive nature that Darren Williams brings to punt return. So those are areas, I think, where the Pittsburgh Steelers might be able to get an advantage.
Yes, Rod, more of a possession receiver as a punt return man, and has not returned a punt this season. Jeff Reed, the 4-year man out of North Carolina, has done an excellent job with with kickoffs, getting ready to boot it for the Steelers.
And if you've never been here to Invesco Field at Mile High, what's going on right now is, I would say probably about 66,000 fans are standing, and they are shaking their orange pom-poms. Well, you say there's 76,000 fans in the stadium. Well, there are about 10,000 Steeler fans here waving their terrible towels in unison as well. So I don't necessarily know that there's a more passionate fan base than that for the Steelers. I mean, they travel and they will follow their teams to the end of the earth to watch their beloved Steelers play a game.
Yes, we have seen many Steeler fans throughout the city of Denver these past 48 hours.
I really thought we were going to be in New England, to be honest with you, Marv, because I thought the New England Patriots, and still believe the New England Patriots are the best team in the NFL. They just had an off game last week. They were unable to handle the blitz from the Denver Broncos, and Tom Brady, uncharacteristically threw an interception to Champ Bailey that turned that game around.
All right, it's time now for the opening kickoff, brought to you by Wayne Dalton Garage Doors. And openers one first after another. The referee, Terry McCauley, hands the football to Jeff Reed. And we're just about set to get this one underway. The AFC Championship game, the winner advances to the Super Bowl to face the winner of the NFC title game between Carolina and Seattle, which is coming up later today here on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood 1. Here comes Reed, and here is the kick. High end of the end. Adams plays it at the 3, straight ahead, out to the 10, angles right to the 15, and he's taken down as he gets to the 20-yard line. Clint Krewalt makes the tackle. It's an 18-yard return by Adams. And the Denver Broncos with Jake Plummer at quarterback, Mike Anderson and Kyle Johnson are the running backs. We'll see combinations of Anderson and Tatum Bell. Anderson rushing for over 1,000 yards and Bell for 920 yards. As the Broncos start out from their 21, they're going from left to right. They line up in an offset eye. The tight end Alexander in motion. Here's the handoff. Anderson stutter steps his way and gets out to the 23. Picked up 2 on the play. Taking a look up front at the Broncos, they have Matt Lepsis and George Foster at the tackles. Ben Hamilton and Cooper Carlisle on the guards. And the center, the 5-time Pro Bowl player, Tom Nalen.
And who's on the first tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Troy Polamalu. So he was in the backfield. That's one of the things that Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of Denver, is going to be watching very closely. If he's that active and around that line of scrimmage that quickly, play action passes down the field, they got to beat you.
2nd and 8 at the 23-yard line. Smith is flanked wide left side. They're lined up in the I formation. Here's the handoff to Anderson on a sweep. Turns the corner, gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Tripped up by Clark Higgins from his outside linebacker spot. Anderson goes for 5, and Pittsburgh out of the 3-4 with Aaron Smith, Casey Hampton, and Kimo Van Olhoffen up front. Clark Higgins, James Farrier, Larry Foote, Joey Porter, the linebackers, Ike Taylor, Deshae Townsend, the corners, and Troy Polamalu and Chris Hope are in the secondary. A 3rd down and 3 at the 28. Tatum Bell now in the backfield. Second-year man out of Ohio State, and he is the lone setback. Signals being called. We're just underway here in Denver. A long count by Plummer. Now he takes the give to Bell. Slashes off the right side and has a first down. Gets across the 30. Stopped by Larry Foote. Bell for 4 and a Denver first down.
Well, remember last week, Indianapolis was having trouble because Indianapolis runs more of an unconventional offense. This is an offense that Denver runs with a fullback, a tight end, and 2 running backs that we've just seen that have great patience at the line of scrimmage because initially it looks like there's no hole there, but they will continue to push the pile and kind of snake through, and that's exactly what Bell did on that last play. So I think this is exactly what Mike Shanahan wants to do. Control the ball, trying to run it, and take the ball out of Jake Plummer's hands.
Bell remains in the backfield. Here's play action by Plummer. Swings it out. It is caught. It is caught by the tight end. Cooks here. Has some running room. Gets across the 40 to the 45 and is run out of bounds at the far side across the 45. A first down and more. Goes for 19, the left corner. Ike Taylor was able to make the stop on Jeb Putzier. 4-year man out of Boise State. 37 catches during the course of the regular season.
Very safe play by Gary Kubiak. Roll Jake Plummer to the right and throw back for a tight end screen. So it's a quick completion, kind of gets the butterflies out of Jake's tummy, and it's a big play for the Denver Broncos.
First down at midfield for Denver. Alexander in motion. Lines up on the wing. Here's Plummer rolling right. Plummer takes a look downfield. He's being chased. Nowhere to go, and he's tripped up. Right around the line of scrimmage, he was chased by Brad Kiesel, the left defensive end, 4-year man out of Brigham Young. It's an advance of 1. It'll be a second down and 9. The ball is placed at the Steeler 48.
You see, what we've seen thus far by the Broncos on offense is how they manage Jake Plummer as a quarterback. 2 very safe plays in passing situations. They're not dropping him back in the pocket just yet, and they're trying to get him into the flow of the game. So, smart by Gary Kubiak.
And Mike Anderson is back in the backfield, takes a pitch, running to his left, running hard to the 45, gets inside the 45. He's short of a first down, met by the corner Deshae Townsend and the strong safety Troy Polamalu. 4 yards from Mike Anderson. What a season for Anderson. Had his problems early, had the bruised ribs, played with a flak jacket for a while, but ran for better than 1,000 yards, averaging about 4 yards a carry.
Well, he's a rough guy. He will lower his pads, and he will deliver the blow as opposed to taking it. Now, here you go, 3rd and 5. These are really the situations that Jake Plummer has got to be sharp. This is where the difficulty comes in trying to figure out where everybody's lined up in this 3-4 Pittsburgh defense.
Here's Plummer to throw. Plummer fires, and it's deflected and broken up. Nearly picked off. Pass over the middle, intended for Rod Smith. On the 7th play of this drive, Bryant McFadden, who had a big game last week in terms of pass defense, was able to break it up. And with a 4th and 5, the punting unit will check in. Antoine Randall L. and single safety back at his 10, and Todd Sauerbrunn will punt from his 41-yard line. So Denver had the ball for straight over 4 minutes, and now they'll give it up to Pittsburgh. Here's the snap. Sauerbrunn takes, and it's a beauty. High, end over end, and a fair catch called for and taken inside the 10 by Antoine Randall L. 35-yard punt. A lot of hang time, did not allow a return, and Pittsburgh will go to the offense. A break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years. We've helped secure families' futures. AIG Insurance, Loans, Retirement. No score. We're just getting started. This is Westwood One's coverage of the National Football League.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you sure? If you want to host the ultimate Super Bowl party, call Wing Zone now at 257-5949. Did you hear me? Wing Zone, 257-5949. Ask about their catering specials. Special number 1, 100 wings or 50 chicken fingers, $59.99. Special number 2, 100 wings and 50 chicken fingers, $129.99. Special number 3, 200 wings or 100 chicken fingers, $169.99. Specials include celery, dressing, and wedge fries. Serve 10 to 30 people with a special that's right for your party. Wing Zone, delivered hot and fresh to your party. Call 257-5949 now.
If you're wild about your hair, stop in at the #1 full-service salon in Ormond Beach, Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road. You can get a full set of pink and white acrylics for just $35. Low light and highlight special with grad for $75. A manicure and pedicure, $75 for both. Call 673-9898 for an appointment. That's 673-9898. Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road.
Hey, football fans, Boomer Esiason here to say thank you for supporting my game plan to end cystic fibrosis. The Boomer Esiason Foundation continues to move closer to achieving its mission of finding a cure for this disease. With your support, we are truly making a difference. $35 million raised for cystic fibrosis research in the last 11 years alone. To find out more about the Boomer Esiason Foundation, cystic fibrosis, and how you can make a difference, please log on to esiason.org.
Looking for great jeans at a great value? Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Built strong, built comfortable, built right. Go to Wrangler.com to find out more. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Around their feet here at Mile High Stadium, trying to provide problems for Ben Roethlisberger as the Steelers start out at the 9-yard line. Here's the play fake. Roethlisberger back to throws, sets up a screen, completes at the 10 to Parker, able to churn his way across the 15-yard line. Willie Parker out of the backfield, stopped by Ian Gold and DJ Williams. Went for 7 on the play. So the Steelers with Parker and Kreider at the running back positions. Marvell Smith, Max Starks the tackles, Alan Faneker, Kendall Simmons the guards, and the center, Pro Bowler Jeff Hardings. Pittsburgh quickly to the line. It's a 2nd and 3 at the 16. Again, Parker and Kreider in the backfield, lined up in the I formation. Signals called by Roethlisberger. Back to throw again. Looks, throws, a diving catch made by Antoine Randall for a first down on the left flat across the 35-yard line. That's good for 20. He was covered by Dominique Foxworth, and it's a first down for the Steelers.
Reminiscent of last week when they came out against the Indianapolis Colts and went right down the field throwing the football. And this is Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, trying to get his young quarterback into the game early. And I got to tell you, this kid is 180-degree different than he was last year at this time in the AFC Championship game. So Ben Roethlisberger is on fire thus far.
And Ben last year playing with the injured thumb. Roethlisberger now with the give. He has Parker running right, but he's stacked up, and he is stopped. Just a short pickup for Parker. Courtney Brown, the left defensive end, was there to make the tackle as Parker tried to drive off the right side and picked up 2 on the play.
So much has been said about the defensive line of the Broncos. 4 of these guys came over from the Cleveland Browns. Do you think for one moment that the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line is intimidated by defensive linemen from the Browns last year? I don't think so.
Although they have played well this year. All right, 2nd down and 8. Roethlisberger looks it over, signals called, takes short set, looking right, can't find anybody, dumps it off. He has Parker in the left flat, and again, a short advance. DJ Williams, Dominique Foxworth combined to make the tackle as Parker goes for 4.
Well, 3 things I've noticed already. Number 1, Pittsburgh is going to be aggressive on offense, and they should be. Their quarterback has really played well. Number 2, the pass protection has been absolutely phenomenal. And number 3, it seems like the Denver defense has kind of been on their heels a little bit. So here we are with another one of those 3rd and shorts. Very important to convert these.
Ron Haynes now has checked into the Steeler backfield. It's a 3rd down and 3. Pittsburgh at their 44. They're moving from right to left. Roethlisberger now drops back into the shotgun. Takes the snap. Gets good protection. Looking. Throws to the right side. Nearly intercepted. It's deflected. It's caught. It's caught out at midfield by Hines Ward, who was able to follow that deflection off the hands of Champ Bailey. It ends up as a 6-yard play and a Pittsburgh first down.
Well, on this play, what I don't like is I don't like the pass protection of the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're asking Willie Parker to block Courtney Brown, and that's a mismatch. And I have to tell you, I thought before the game one of the key matchups was going to be Champ Bailey on Hines Ward. Champ Bailey almost took that one back for a touchdown. A nice play by Hines Ward, staying aware of where the football was.
First down for the Steelers at midfield. 7.5 to go in this scoreless first quarter. Handoff to Parker, running hard to his left, and gets to the 45 in Denver territory. Picked up 4. Let's check in with John Dockery. Doc?
You know, Marvin Boomer, Champ Bailey is going with Hines Ward all over the field, man-to-man, one-on-one. And on that last play, Ben Roethlisberger didn't set his feet, threw the ball back very limply, and Bailey had a shot to take that one all the way back. I was shocked to see him throw that ball.
All right, Doc, this is a drive that started back on the 9-yard line off that fair catch on the Sauerbrunn punt. 2nd and 6 now at the Denver 45. Handoff to Parker. Try to stiff arm his way, but he's taken down. Lost the football. Broncos are on it, but he may have been down. No, he was not. It's a fumble recovered by Denver. Ian Gold able to jump on it, and the Broncos take over. Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, with the strip of Parker.
Well, Parker's going to say he's down. And the interesting thing here is that I was watching the official, Terry McCauley, and I think Parker's down. I think that Bill Cowher is going to throw the red flag. He's going to want to have a replay of this thing. But Terry McCauley, the official, the referee that stands behind the play, actually was getting ready to blow his whistle like the play was dead. So I don't know exactly. Here we go. You know, last week we had 7 gaffes minimum in games, and hopefully they'll get this one right via replay, because I think that the Steelers will retain possession.
All right, we'll take a break. No score. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
Motorola asks you to vote for the NFL's ultimate game-changing innovators. Thousands of NFL fans have spoken. The votes and team has been finalized.
The 10 at the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Michael Vick has done it. Unbelievable speed.
Touchdown, Jerry Rice. with his 200th career touchdown.
Visit HelloMoto.com/NFL to find out the final lineup of the NFL's ultimate game-changing innovators. And while you're there, enter for your chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 40 in Detroit. Visit the Motorola NFL Zone at your local Radio Shack to experience the latest in Motorola innovation and get great deals on Motorola products. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, must be 18 years of age or older and a permanent legal resident in the United States to enter. Employees of Motorola, the NFL entities, and their promotions agencies are not eligible. Sweepstakes begins January 4th and ends January 23rd, 2006. Sweepstakes subject to official rules. To obtain a copy of the official rules, visit www.hellomoto.com/NFL. Sponsored by Motorola, Inc. The NFL entities, as defined in the official rules, have not offered or sponsored the sweepstakes in any way.
Hey, fans, don't forget there's still time for you to make plans and spend an unforgettable week in beautiful Honolulu with the NFL All-Stars. On February 12, 2006, the best players in the NFL compete in the league's annual Pro Bowl. The rosters are set. We know who's making the trip for the AFC and NFC, so why don't you make the trip too? Come on. Say aloha to all the festivities surrounding the Pro Bowl in beautiful Honolulu. To book your All-Star Week travel package, all you have to do is call our great friends. They got it all handled. Pleasant holidays at 1-800-5-HAWAII. That's 1-800-5-HAWAII.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers will challenge. Bill Cowher throwing the red flag. And the question is, was Willie Parker down by contact?
Well, here's the one thing, Marv. You know, last week, if you looked at those replays, especially of Troy Polamalu's interception, you knew that it was an interception, but the official read it a different way. And I don't know why. I think that Willie Parker is down here when I see the replay, but I really can't interpret how Terry McCauley, the head referee, is going to rule this. I think he's down. I think his right knee is down, and then the ball comes out after his arm and the ball hit the ground. So I think he's got to be down, and I believe that Pittsburgh will retain possession.
Well, this close shave instant replay review is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream and Gel. For a close shave, better buy Barbasol. It was Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, who was playing despite a broken right thumb, who was able to strip Parker, and then the outside linebacker, Ian Gold, pounced on him.
After review, the runner's forearm was down, out of control of the football. It will be 3rd and 7 on the 46-yard line.
And what do you know? I actually got it right.
So the Steelers maintain possession. It'll be a 3rd down and 7. We have 6:38 to go in this first quarter. There's no score. Marv Albert with Boomer Esiason and John Dockery were at Mile High in Denver. The AFC Championship game, the winner advancing to the Super Bowl in Detroit in 2 weeks to face the winner between Carolina and Seattle. They'll meet later on in the NFC Championship game, and that'll be heard right here on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood 1. LaRon Haynes has checked into the backfield. It's a 3rd down and 7. Steelers at the Denver 46-yard line. Once again, Roethlisberger working out of the shotgun. Roethlisberger takes, throws to the left flank. It is caught for a first down at the near side inside the 35. Nate Washington spinning his way. And that is good for 13. How about Nate Washington did not have a catch during the course of the regular season. A rookie out of Tiffin College, located in the state of Ohio, and comes up with that reception for the first down.
Right in front of rookie Dominic Foxworth out of Maryland. So, you know, you just never know who's going to make those plays in the big games. And right there, Nate Washington, a huge play for a first down.
First down at the Denver 33-yard line. Parker remains in the backfield, the long deep back. Roethlisberger on a short set, looking right now, has to run. He was in trouble and had nowhere to go. Michael Myers able to make the stop right at the line of scrimmage.
And you know, Marv, on that last 3rd down play, what really jumped out at me was the ability of the Pittsburgh Steelers to pick up the blitz. No, they didn't let anybody penetrate up the middle in the front of Ben Roethlisberger. He had a complete throwing lane out to Washington, and that's good coaching. That's just good, solid coaching, getting your players in the right position.
Roethlisberger is 5 for 5 for 53 yards. Now they're lined up in the I formation with Kreider, the fullback, in front of the running back, Parker. Roethlisberger takes on the end around. He has Hines Ward going from right to left, and Ward not able to get anywhere. reached out to the 30, perhaps just inside the 30, and then was turned back. Combination of Foxworth and Bailey. They saw that coming. It's kind of a slow developing end around. Did pick up 4 on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 6 at the 29.
You know, Bill Cowher does like a trick play here and then, but that's more of a staple of their offense. Trying to get the ball in the hands of Ward or Antoine Randall as many times as you possibly can without throwing it to him.
11th play of the drive for the Steelers. 3rd down 6 at the Denver 29. 4.5 to play. First quarter, we have no score. Haynes in the backfield. Roethlisberger takes out of the gun. Looking downfield. Throws deep downfield the end zone, and it is broken up. Nearly intercepted. The pass intended for Washington was covered by Foxworth, who had a better shot at it than the intended receiver.
It was role reversal. Foxworth became the wide receiver, and Washington became the defensive back. Foxworth actually has it for a moment, and then Washington knocks it out of his hands in the end zone. So a nice play by Nate Washington. 2 good plays by him, matter of fact. 1 for a first down, and that one playing defense.
And here's the field goal unit. Jeff Reed will attempt from 47 yards away. 24-29 during the regular season. Remember, the high altitude does help the field goal kickers. Ball's placed down. Here's the kick by Reed. It is up. And it is good. Jeff Reed from 47. Steelers with a 3-0 lead on the Broncos. And with that field goal, Barbasol makes another donation to the Boomer Esiason Foundation dedicated to beating cystic fibrosis. Barbasol, shaving cream and gel, better by Barbasol. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
What do I, Boomer Esiason, have in common with Knute Rockne and Babe Ruth? Well, we've all advertised Barbasol, the close shave of champions.
Close shave's the call. Better by Barbasol. Barbasol.
Listen up, team. It's a tight game. Let me diagram a play for the second half. Where's my chalk?
I'll use my antacids, Coach. They're really chalky.
They sure are. Try my Roll-8 soft chews.
These aren't like regular antacids.
Roll-8 soft chews are chewy, not chalky, with a taste and texture antacid users preferred to Tums EX.
Wow, Roll-8 soft chews work fast on my heartburn.
And your antacids ain't banned on the blackboard.
Roll-8 soft chews. Chewy, not chalky. Preference based on consumer test. Use as directed.
We're here on Groundhog Day, and it looks like the groundhog is popping his head up, and he's moving towards the podium. My goodness, the groundhog is going to speak.
Can you people, please, replace your old wiper blades with Rain-X blades so that you can see better and not run over my friends and family? And as for the weather, listen, I am a groundhog, not a meteorologist for Pete's sakes.
Every Groundhog Day, change your wiper blades to Rain-X blades. They can handle any weather, even 6 more weeks of winter.
Take it from me, Boomer Esiason, for one gel of a shave. Check out new Barbasol Gel. Ultra smooth, ultra close shave, Barbasol Gel.
Close shave's the call. Better by Barbasol. Barbasol.
You can follow today's game live at CBSSportsline.com. Get lightning fast live scoring and play-by-play action for this and every game of the NFL playoffs. Just log on to CBSSportsline.com. Now back to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL playoffs.
Steelers go 12 plays, 62 yards. They have the football for 6 minutes, 29 seconds. They cap it off with a 47-yard field goal by Jeff Reed. Now Reed teeing it up and getting set to kick it off for the second time. Charlie Adams, the deep man. Cecil Sapp is the up man. He's at the 10. Adams back at the 2-yard line. We're down to 4:11 remaining in this opening quarter. And the Steelers have a 3-0 lead.
They had 3 key plays on that drive, Marv. One was the one that Champ Bailey almost intercepted and Hines Ward caught for a first down. Nate Washington taking the ball away from Dominique Foxworth. And then, of course, the first down by Nate Washington.
Here's the kickoff by Reed. A deep kick played by Adams at the goal line. He's straight ahead to the 5. Angles left 10, 15. Finds an opening. Gets across the 20, and they swarm all over him. A 23-yard return. Chidi Iwoma leading the gang tackle. And there is a break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG, insurance, loans, retirement. Steelers 3, Broncos nothing. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1. Later on, we'll to tell you about the outstanding play of the game, brought to you by RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. Marv Albert with Boomer Esiason and John Dockery. Boomer doing double duty today, making the scurried move from downstairs from the set of NFL Today.
It was not easy, Marv. It's 2 flights, and we're at 7,000 feet, so believe you me, I was out of breath.
In this high altitude, here's Plummer throwing over the middle, and it's caught by Smith for a first down out of the 34-yard line. That's good for 12 at a Denver first down. James Farrior, Larry Foote combined to make the tackle. James Farrior coming off an excellent game last week against the Patriots. He's had a magnificent big play season. Denver with the first down. They spotted out of the 35-yard line. The running backs, Mike Anderson and Kyle Johnson. They're lined up in an offset eye. The tight end, Alexander, now in motion. Plummer takes. Here's the give. Anderson straight ahead, pulling his way to the 40. Good second effort, refusing to go down, and then Farrior finally was able to bring him to the ground, but he picked up 6 on that play.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed thus far with the running game of the Denver Broncos. They've been getting their chunks of yardage, and had it not been for an inaccurate throw on 3rd down in the last series for Jake Plummer, they were moving the ball very effectively. So I think it's all about controlling Jake, making sure he doesn't make that bad error, that mistake throw, and thus far I think they've been playing pretty well.
All right, here's Plummer on play action, being chased, he fumbles, loose ball, it is still loose, and the Steelers are on it. Plummer was rolling right, Joey Porter with the hit had jarred the ball free, and then it was the nose tackle Casey Hampton who chased it down and finally took possession.
Well, here you go. You try to throw the ball on 2nd down, and those are the downs that the Steelers are going to blitz. Anytime you're in a passing situation, and they are so quick, and it is Joey Porter who just basically runs around. Matt Lepps is the left tackle. And I mean, that's the quickness of the Steelers on defense, and that's what we've seen from them the last 6 weeks. They have been awesome in passing situations from a defensive perspective.
Quickness and punishing at the defensive end as the Steelers take over at the Denver 39. Here's the handoff to Parker, breaks a tackle, running right, and gets a yard. Willie Parker was stopped by the strong safety, Nick Ferguson, coming up on 2.5 remaining in this first quarter. A 3-0 lead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Jake Plummer fumbling on the play. Pittsburgh taking over in excellent field position. It is a 2nd and 9 at the 38-yard line. They're lined up in an offset eye with Parker and Kreider. Signals called by Roethlisberger. It's a long count. He takes, back to throw, throws the middle. It's caught inside the 20 by the tight end. Heath Miller gets to the 15, and he's taken down by Lynch and Ferguson. Heath Miller, the 6'5" rookie from Virginia, had an outstanding first-round draft pick, had 39 receptions during the regular season, and this one is good for 23.
Well, I'll tell you, that time the Denver Broncos blitzed, and unlike the Bronco offense, the Pittsburgh offense picked it up perfectly. Miller one-on-one down the field against Lynch. That's the matchup that you want, and that's exactly what they exploited.
And boy, here's the first appearance for the bus. Jerome Bettis in the backfield with the fullback Dan Kreider. First down at the Denver 14-yard line. Roethlisberger takes the give to Bettis, running to his right, looks to turn the corner, nowhere to go. He's stopped at the line by Gerard Warren, the right defensive tackle. Let's check Pittsburgh stats inside the red zone, brought to you by Heinz, makers of thick and rich Heinz ketchup, America's favorite during the regular season. They were in the red zone 56 times. They scored in 55 of those 56 chances. That's the best record in the NFL. 34 touchdowns, 21 field goals. Well, Bettis lost a yard. 2nd and 11. The ball spotted back at the 15-yard line. Now Kreider and Bettis remain in the backfield, this time at an offset eye. Roethlisberger calls out signals. He's back. No, he hands off to Bettis. Bettis straight ahead and battles for a couple. So Bettis up the middle. Michael Myers, the left defensive tackle, was able to get in his way and bring him down.
Well, if I'm going to give credit to offensive coordinator Ken Wisenhunt for the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, then I'm going to actually get on him here a little bit. I mean, you are down in the red zone and you hand the ball off to Jerome Bettis. I mean, Jerome Bettis is great inside the 3-yard line. He is not going to be breaking tackles running 15 yards into the end zone. I think you got to be a little bit more aggressive down there than they were.
It's a 3rd and 8 at the 12 when resumed, but time running down in this first quarter. That's the end of one. Steelers 3, Broncos nothing. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
People, football fans, who took home the biggest trophy of all this season? The Kia Amante, recipient of the 2005 J.D. Power & Associates Award for Most Appealing Premium Midsize Car, based on design, content, layout, and performance. This is a call made by the most important referees of all, those who own and drive the vehicles. People love the distinctive design, the roominess, comfort, and luxury of Amante. The dual climate control, available leather, the V6 power, and class-leading 8 standard airbags. It is space and comfort on wheels. The Kia Amante. The kick is up, and it's good.
Visit your local Kia retailer or go to kia.com and find out what Amante owners already know. For J.D. Power & Associates award information, www.jdpower.com.
I thought you were done with our taxes.
I am, but now TurboTax can help us get even more from our tax refund.
Really?
Yeah, with TurboTax we can use all or part of our refund for gift cards with a bonus of 10%, 20%, or more at over 50 major retailers.
Wow.
We can get more from the places where we'd spend our money anyway.
A bonus on top of our refund? I'm thinking power tools.
Or some new shoes.
DVD player.
Dinner out.
Barbecue grill.
New laptop.
Vacation.
Vacation.
Fees apply. Learn more at TurboTax.com.
So, you want to beat Athlete's Foot? How about a little one-on-one? Lamisil AT versus Lotrimin AF. With Lamisil AT, you can treat Athlete's Foot between the toes with just 1 week's use. So Lamisil AT treats 4 times faster than Lotrimin AF. You have to use them for 4 weeks. Hey, do you have 4 weeks for Athlete's Foot? Come on, 1 week's treatment always beats 4. So if you get Athlete's Foot, look for Lamisil AT, the one that lets you treat 4 times faster. Lamisil AT, advanced treatment.
We'd like to thank you for joining us for today's broadcast of the NFL playoffs in Westwood 1. We also like to say a special hello to those of you around the world and in ships at sea listening to us via the American Forces Radio Network.
All right, the Steelers, as the second quarter gets underway with a 3rd and 8 at the 12. Here's Roethlisberger throwing end zone. It's caught. Touchdown! Touchdown Steelers. Cedric Wilson in the back of the end zone on a 12-yard touchdown pass in front of Champ Bailey. Cedric Wilson, who last year with San Francisco had a breakout season, 47 catches, signed as a free agent from the 49ers, a 5-year man out of Tennessee, and was able to make the catch deep in the corner.
Well, I don't know what Champ Bailey was looking at, but he voided his zone, and Cedric Wilson was right there. He tried to go inside to a player that was screaming up the seam, and I think it was Hines Ward, and that left Cedric Wilson wide open in the back of the end zone.
Here's Jeff Reed for the extra point. Chris Gardocki will put it down, snap, place down, the kick is up, and it is right through. How about Roethlisberger? Got off to the fast start last week, as you mentioned, Boomer. 7 of 8, 89 yards, and a touchdown. And with that TD, RE/MAX makes another donation to the Children's Miracle Network. RE/MAX, nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Pittsburgh in command here in the early going, just underway in the second quarter. They lead the Broncos here in Denver, 10-0. This is Westwood 1's coverage of the National Football League.
Magic Overhead Door Company, located at 528 North Beach Street, Daytona Beach, are the ones you can trust with over 30 years experience installing Genie garage doors and servicing any make and model garage door. Magic Overhead Door Company also does gate access systems. For the best in customer service and satisfaction, the ones to call are Magic Overhead Door Company, fully licensed and insured, a company you can trust with over 30 years experience. 253-5396, 253-5396.
If you're wild about your hair, stop in at the #1 full-service salon in Ormond Beach, Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road. You can get a full set of pink and white acrylics for just $35. Low light and highlight special with Greg for $75. A manicure and pedicure, $75 for both. Call 673-9898 for an appointment. That's 673-9898. Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you sure? If you want to host the ultimate Super Bowl party, call Wing Zone now at 257-5949. Did you hear me? Wing Zone, 257-5949. Ask about their catering specials. Special number 1, 100 wings or 50 chicken fingers, $59.99. Special number 2, 100 wings and 50 chicken fingers, $129.99. Special number 3, 200 wings or 100 chicken fingers, $169.99. Specials include celery, dressing, and wedge fries. Serve 10 to 30 people with a special that's right for your party. Wing Zone, delivered hot and fresh to your party. Call 257-5949 now.
5 plays, 39 yards. In just under 3 minutes, Steelers took over after the Joey Porter sack and forced fumble, and it led to the touchdown pass from Roethlisberger to Wilson. And the drive summary brought to you by OnStar. Protect your family when driving. Make sure your vehicle is equipped with the peace of mind of OnStar by GM. Visit OnStar.com for more information. Todd Sauerbrunn. This is a Jeff Reed kicking it away with Adams back deep, and this one carries out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you know, that's the last thing you want to do if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, is to give the Denver Broncos the ball on the 40-yard line if you're kicking the ball out of bounds. I mean, it's just inexcusable. I mean, you've got control of this game right here, and you just don't want to give the Broncos field position like this.
So they move it up to the 40-yard line. And the Denver Broncos, 1st and 10 at the 40. Tatum Bell in the backfield with Kyle Johnson. Jake Plummer's last possession was that fumble on the sack. Handoff to Bell, running to his left, looked to make the turn, could not. Casey Hampton was able to cut him off, and he stopped at the line.
You know, Marv, the important thing about that is that Casey Hampton is the nose tackle. Okay, so he has to go from the nose tackle all the way to the right sideline and make the tackle. And that's the kind of performance that they have been getting from their defensive linemen. You know that Kimo von Oelhoffen knocked out Carson Palmer in that game, in the wild card game. And then last week, Kimo, Casey, and Aaron Smith all had pressures against Peyton Manning. So their defensive line, underrated and underappreciated.
2nd and 10 for the Broncos from their 40-yard line. Here's Plummer taking a deep drop. He's being chased. He's under pressure. Running to his left. Nowhere to go. And he stopped back at the line. Joey Porter was right there. Deshae Townsend chasing Plummer, who had to make a decision, could not find anybody. And he's right back at the line of scrimmage. It brings up a 3rd down and 10 at the 40.
There's one of those crazy blitzes that Dick LeBeau, the defense coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, likes to bring. Deshae Townsend was on the blitz. And, you know, do you see how quick Joey Porter kind of filled after Jake Plummer got away from Townsend? Porter dropped his man and made the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
And here are the Broncos to the line. Plummer back to throw. Again, being rushed, sets up a screen. He has Bell out of the backfield. Running right. He's to midfield, and he is stopped. Looks to be short of that 1st down marker. Chased down by the strong safety, Troy Polamalu. Let's see where they spot it.
And Marv, this is going to be 4th down, and what a great play by Troy Polamalu. Now this is a screen pass against the blitz of the Steelers. Executed perfectly. Cooper Carlisle, the right guard for the Denver Broncos, was leading around the corner, and he actually hit Polamalu in the chest. And as Polamalu was falling down, somehow he found the wherewithal to make the tackle. What a great play by the strong safety of the Steelers.
And Boomer is about a half-yard short. They're going for it. 4th and a half yard. Handoff to Anderson. Drives off the right side. Steelers able to stop. They say that he's short of the 1st down. It was a quick call, quick count. They try to catch Pittsburgh off stride. It was Clark Higgins who was able to make the stop. And he did pick it up.
And I got to tell you, what a great run by Mike Anderson, because he was stopped about 1.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And this is all second effort. And this is why Mike Shanahan loves this guy. You know, he's not flashy, but I'll tell you what, he will take his first hit like he does, and then somehow finds the wherewithal to stretch over the 50-yard line to make the 1st down. What a great play by Mike Anderson.
And he just did pick it up. It's a 1st down for the Broncos at midfield. Now Plummer back to throw. Throws the middle. It's deflected, and it falls incomplete. James Farrier got a piece of it. It was intended for Rod Smith. down at the 30-yard line. It brings up a 2nd and 10 at the 50.
Remember, when you play against a 3-4, which the Steelers are, as opposed to a 4-3, there's more arms jumping up, knocking balls down, because you have essentially 2 middle linebackers in there, and that's exactly where James Farrior was. He was about 8 yards deep. Jake Plummer trying to throw it over him, and Farrior leapt up and made a nice tip of the football.
Looked like Ashley Lallee came up hobbling. He's over at the Denver sideline, replaced by Charlie Adams. Now Plummer with a pitch. Anderson running right. Anderson broke a tackle. Anderson breaks another tackle and gets to the 42-yard line. Chris Hope, the free safety, finally was able to bring him down.
Anderson's the perfect running back to go against this defense, because the defense is never going to let up. They're going to be relentless. So you need to have a guy that's going to run with the football and is not going to, kind of be shying away from contact. So Anderson is the perfect running back to take the beating and also deliver the beating as well.
Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. He picked up 7 on that hard driving run. 3rd down and 3 at the 43. Lallee is back in. Here's Plummer rolling right. He throws. He has Anderson. He has the first down. Running inside the 45. Gets to the 30. Bumped out of bounds by Farrior. That's a 13-yard hookup and a Denver first down.
And Marv, you said it before on these 3rd and shorts, 4th down and 1 yard to go. What Denver is doing is they are quick snapping the ball. They're getting up to the line of scrimmage, not giving Pittsburgh a chance to really identify their offensive formations. And that play action was great. James Farrior had his eyes in the backfield as opposed to his man in the flat, who was Mike Anderson.
And now Todd DeVoe, first-year player from Central Missouri, flanks wide to the right side. Tatum Bell in the backfield. Here is play action. Plummer throws. It's caught inside the 15 by Putsier. Another Bronco first down. 18 yards on the play. So Denver with a first down at the 12-yard line, and the Broncos are in the Heinz red zone.
Well, Putsier starts at the left side of the formation and cuts across the formation to the right, and Plummer really throws a beautiful ball right in between the linebackers, Foot and Farrior, and it was, this is the best throw of the day thus far for Jake Plummer. If he can continue to do this, that's got to make Mike Shanahan feel pretty good.
9th play of this drive that began back at the Denver 40-yard line. Again, play action. Plummer throws end zone and overthrows. It ends up out of the end zone, intended for Ashley Lallee, who's back on the field after he hobbled off a couple of plays back. Joey Porter putting pressure on Jake Plummer. That'll be a 2nd and 10 now coming up at the Pittsburgh 12-yard line. 5 minutes gone by in this second quarter. We're at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver for the AFC Championship game. Pittsburgh striking early. They lead it by the count of 10-0. Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, and John Dockery. And apparently a timeout is being called
by Denver.
Yep. Broncos call for time. Plummer leading this drive. He's 5 of 8 overall now, 71 yards. He has been sacked twice by Joey Porter. There is a break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG Insurance, Loans, Retirement. 10-0 Pittsburgh leading Denver. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Motorola asked you to vote for the NFL's ultimate game-changing innovators. Thousands of NFL fans have spoken. The votes and team has been finalized.
It's 10 at the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Michael Vick has done it. Unbelievable speed.
Touchdown. Jerry Rice with his 200th career touchdown.
Visit HelloMoto.com/NFL to find out the final lineup of the NFL's ultimate game-changing innovators. And while you're there, enter for your chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 40 in Detroit. Visit the Motorola NFL Zone at your local Radio Shack to experience the latest in Motorola innovation and get great deals on Motorola products. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, must be 18 years of age or older and a permanent legal resident in the United States to enter. Employees of Motorola, the NFL entities, and their promotions agencies are not eligible. Sweepstakes begins January 4th and ends January 23rd, 2006. Sweepstakes subject to official rules. To obtain a copy of the official rules, visit www.hellomoto.com/NFL. Sponsored by Motorola, Inc. The NFL entities, as defined in the official rules, have not offered or sponsored the sweepstakes in any way.
Chili Hotline.
Hi, I love my boyfriend.
But?
He's a little bland. What do you suggest?
Would you prefer Dynamite Hot?
You can do that?
Bring home a box of Stag Dynamite Hot Chili made with habanero peppers. Hottest peppers known to man. And now...
2 women.
Uh-huh. Chili Hotline.
This is hard to talk about.
You're among chili lovers. Go ahead.
Well, I tried a new chili the other day, and it was, well, soupy.
Ooh, well, I can tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't Stag chili, right?
Right.
Love and learn. At Stag Foods, chili is all they do. No soups, no juice, no cookies.
I'm in love.
Stag chili. The chili lovers love.
Here are the Broncos to the line as we resume. They have a 2nd and 10 at the 12. Another quick count. Plummer being rushed. Threw it in a hurry to the left flat, intended for Anderson. It is incomplete, but once again, Joey Porter was right on the scene.
Well, the last couple times Joey Porter got back there, it was because Matt Lepsis, the left tackle, was having a hard time in a pass rush. This time, they tried to run that play-action fake right in front of him to see if he could react or maybe lose sight of the football. But you know what? He's thinking quarterback the whole way. Every time I watch the guy, he wants to kill the quarterback. He doesn't care where the ball is, just get the quarterback. And I'll tell you, Joey Porter's definitely having a effect today for this Steeler defense.
Joey Porter played his college ball at Colorado State, making the Pro Bowl for the 3rd time in his illustrious career. Here's the handoff to Anderson. Finds a hole on the right, gets down to the 5-yard line. Once again, able to break a tackle, goes for 7. Chris Hope, the free safety, up to make the stop. And it is short of a first down. It's a 4th and 3 down at the 5, and the field goal unit will come on. Jason Elam on the season, 24 of 32, will attempt from 23 yards away. The angle is to the left, setting up at the right hash mark.
I don't know what that call was all about for the Broncos. That's a give-up call.
And here's the snap, placed down, the kick is up, and it is good. And with that field goal, Barbasol makes another donation to the Boomer Esiason Foundation dedicated to beating cystic fibrosis. Barbasol, shaving cream and gel, better by Barbasol. So the Broncos are on the board. It's the Steelers 10, Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
On the next American Shopper Fantasy Bikes, when Joseph McClendon's mom got cancer, he gladly sold his motorcycle to pay her bills.
She said that you must rebuild it or build something else that's going to make you happy.
Joseph, today's your lucky day.
Oh my God! We're going to build you a bike.
Watch the Tuttles give Joseph his ultimate ride.
Look at this!
Then watch Joseph lose his absolute mind.
Oh, it's speechless.
Let's all discover dreams can come true. American Shopper Fantasy Bikes. New episode Monday at 10 Eastern Pacific. Only on the Discovery Channel.
Oh, look at Dave's new Sierra Denali pickup. 345 horsepower, DVD, leather.
Hey, Dave, where are you off to?
Picking up my cabin cruiser from the marina.
Yeah.
On the other side of the mountains.
Yeah.
After I stop by the lumber yard.
Yeah.
And pick up my dry cleaning.
Oh.
My fishing shirt was a little gamey.
Oh.
No matter how you use your GMC truck, we engineer them all to the highest standard, professional grade. DVD optional, leather and seating surfaces only.
We're here on Groundhog Day, and it looks like the groundhog is popping his head up, and he's moving towards the podium. My goodness, the groundhog is going to speak.
Can you people please replace your old wiper blades with Rain-X blades so that you can see better and not run over my friends and family? And as for the weather, listen, I am a groundhog, not a meteorologist for Pete's sakes.
Every Groundhog Day, change your wiper blades to Rain-X blades. They can handle any weather, even 6 more weeks of winter.
Back in Denver, let's go downstairs. Here's John Dockery.
You know, Marv, you and Boomer were talking about during the break, that last call, 3rd and 10, they give the ball to Mike Anderson on the ground. I think he was just trying to protect Jake, and also they're 2 scores back, figured to get the field goal and try to make it up on defense. But yeah, it was a real defensive call. Doesn't show a lot of faith in your quarterback.
Know that if it were John Elway, they probably would have thrown it. So this is managing the game, keeping Jake Plummer from making a crucial mistake.
And here's Todd Sauerbrunn kicking it off for Denver. A deep kick, lands deep in the end zone and carries out. So no return for Ike Taylor. They'll bring it out to the 20. There's a break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG, insurance, loans, retirement. Pittsburgh 10, Denver 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
It's a team achievement to play in the Super Bowl. It's a personal honor to play in the NFL's All-Star Game. On Sunday, February 13th, the best players at their positions compete in the NFL's annual Pro Bowl. The game setting is as spectacular as the talent of its rosters. Hawaii, home of the Pro Bowl, offers the ultimate getaway experience for the whole family. To join the NFL for its season-ending celebration in Hawaii, please call Pleasant Holidays at 1-800-5-HAWAII or go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl. Hawaii in February with the NFL All-Stars. What could be better?
Travelocity presents The Roaming Gnome, denouncer of travel myths. Myth number 1. Cruises are too darn pricey.
Nonsense. With Travelocity's cruise super sale, there are tons of splendid cruise deals.
Myth 2. Do not bring your own tunes to the cruise ballroom.
What? It's a classic.
As an exclusive benefit, MasterCard cardholders get up to $300 back. Visit Travelocity.com/super sale for details. Restrictions apply. Travelocity. You'll never roam alone.
It's energy-saving season. You've caulked, weather-stripped, and insulated everywhere, even your garage. Now what? Do you realize that your garage door may be your home's largest opening and your costliest energy waster? That's why it's smart to replace your uninsulated door with a new Wayne Dalton insulated garage door. It's a good investment you'll use and appreciate every day. See the difference a new insulated Wayne Dalton door makes. Visit WayneDalton.com and click the Save Energy icon to learn about increasing your garage door's energy efficiency.
Right here, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Westwood 1, your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 40.
Every Wednesday, United Way Day, Big Talk with Big John, W-E-L-E, Ormond Beach.
Here are the Pittsburgh Steelers to the line. They'll start out from their 20-yard line. Willie Parker in the backfield. They're lined up in an offset eye. Roethlisberger back to throw. He pumps again, and he's in trouble. He's taken down back at the 11-yard line. He could not find anyone, did not want to throw it away, and he went down.
I think they're going to call this an incomplete pass as his arm was moving forward when the ball left his hand. So it should be an incomplete pass, should be 2nd and 10. And I'll tell you what, this is really the fun part of the game because it's first down. It seems like Denver felt like Pittsburgh was going to come out and throw, and what do? They blitz. I mean, they bring everybody. They had the matchup that they really wanted. They had Hines Ward on Dominique Foxworth, and Ben just did not want to pull the trigger.
So it is an incomplete forward pass, and it'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 20. Parker and Kreider in the backfield. Hines Ward split wide to the right side. And apparently a delay of game.
Second down.
And that's the right thing by Terry McCauley. The back judge threw the flag and signaled that it was going to be delay of the game. And Terry McCauley correctly pointed out that the down clock was started too quickly because of the delay of spotting the football. Now Mike Shanahan is screaming on the sideline saying he wants the penalty, but because they had to determine whether or not it was a fumble or an incomplete pass, you know, the down clock started too quickly. So I think this is the right call by Terry McCauley, the official.
And that is the first penalty of the afternoon. It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Parker in the backfield. Here is Roethlisberger on play action. He turns, he throws, leaping catch made across the 35 by Cedric Wilson, and he's taken out of bounds. It is a first down and more. 17-yard hookup. Cedric Wilson, the man who caught that touchdown pass back in the first quarter, covered again by Dominique Foxworth. Foxworth playing for Darren Williams, who is the backup because of that pulled groin muscle. Dominique Foxworth, rookie out of Maryland, a 3rd-round draft pick.
Just too far off. I mean, he's given way too big of a cushion.
It is a first down for the Steelers. Parker in the backfield once again, and now a timeout is being taken. Timeout called by the Broncos. So when we resume, Pittsburgh 1st and 10 at their 37. We have 8:41 remaining in the first half. The Steelers 10, the Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
To prove new Concert 2-in-1 shampoo for men is a good, clean rinsing shampoo, we tested it on sportscaster Dan Patrick.
Why am I tied to a speedboat?
By lathering him up, then tying him behind a speedboat.
Could I at least have some skis?
No need. Go! Oh! There you have it. He's not moving, but his hair looks great and no residue. Proof new Consort 2-in-1 shampoo rinses clean, leaving your hair looking good.
Consort for men. Dan tested, man approved.
We've been looking at houses all day. I hope this one's better than the others.
Hey, it looks pretty nice to me.
Oh, I don't know. It's kind of small.
Yeah, but the location's okay. I mean, it's convenient to the airport.
Finding the right home shouldn't be this hard. An experienced RE/MAX agent can help you find the perfect home, across town or around the world. Visit your nearby RE/MAX office today. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. Each office independently owned and operated.
NFL All-Stars in Hawaii to decide the best of the best. The Pro Bowl Skills Challenge presented by Sprint. Who's the strongest? The best kicker? The most accurate passer? Who's got the best hands? And who is the NFL's fastest man? The very best of the NFL at the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge presented by Sprint. Saturday, February 11th at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Sponsored in part by Diet Pepsi.
Hey, later on we'll tell you about the Wrangler 5-star performance of the game, brought to you by Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Built strong, built comfortable, built right. Wrangler real comfortable jeans.
I would say it's neck and neck right now between Ben Roethlisberger and Joey Porter. Big Ben, well, he's 8 of 10 for 106 yards and has looked real poised in this first half. And Joey Porter has been harassing Jake Plummer since the first snap.
Pittsburgh to the line. First down from their 37. Willie Parker in the backfield. Here's the handoff to Parker. Running right. Looks to make the turn and cannot. He is stopped. Stopped at the line. Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, has been very active despite that broken thumb getting the wraps on Parker. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. It's just past 2 o'clock here in Denver, Colorado. Mountain Time Zone. Marv Albert, Gunnar Esiason, and John Dockery. They're playing for the AFC Championship. And Pittsburgh off to the good start. They have the 10-3 lead. Hines Ward comes in motion, left to right. Roethlisberger back to throw, being rushed. Throws. It's caught. It's caught at the 45 by Wilson. Wilson spins and has a first down. Goes for 18. He's taken down at the 45 by the strong safety, Nick Ferguson. How about Cedric Wilson? That is his 3rd catch of the game. 3 catches, 47 yards, including a touchdown.
And boy, if we come a long way with Ben Roethlisberger. Right now, John Lynch is blitzing him to his right. He sees the blitz is coming right to his face. He calmly plants his back foot and throws it back to the left. Dominique Foxworth has got to get up tighter on these wide receivers when they're blitzing.
Now Pittsburgh first down, 1st and 10 at the Denver 45. Here's Roethlisberger throwing and comes up short as he was facing the pressure. The pass intended for Hines Ward downfield inside the 30-yard line. Trevor Price came from his right defensive end position and put the move on Roethlisberger, who came up well short on that pass attempt.
But you know, Marvin, I go back. If Denver's going to blitz, those corners have got to be more aggressive. They can't lay off as far as Dominique Foxworth has been doing. I mean, that's easy gimme completions for any quarterback in the NFL, especially one as dialed in as Ben Roethlisberger has been in this first half.
All right, here are the Steelers to the line. Signals being called as Roethlisberger ducks in under. He's back to throw again. Takes a long look. Has time. Rolling right. Throws on the run, and it is broken up. Intended for Ward in the right flat at the 30. He was covered by the strong safety, Nick Ferguson.
You know, that's a play where it seemed to me like Ben Roethlisberger's arm is not 100%. Remember last week he took a vicious hit on his right tricep in the Indianapolis game. And this is a play that he usually makes where he has more than enough arm strength to get it there. That ball floated a little bit. It gave Nick Ferguson an opportunity to knock it away.
3rd and 10 at the Denver 45. 7 minutes to play. First half. Roethlisberger, 9 of 13, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Ron Haynes checks back into the backfield. Roethlisberger takes out of the gun. Looking to his right. He throws. He has a wide open man inside the 25. The catch made by Hines Ward. And Pittsburgh picks up another first down. That's good for 20. Darren Williams attempting to cover Hines Ward. For Ward, his second reception of the day. And it's a first down for the Steelers at the Bronco 24-yard line.
I'll tell you, this is zone defense the whole way. And the zones are expanding because the offensive pass protection has been fantastic. And when you give that much time to Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to find his open receiver.
Steelers to the line in a hurry. Wilson split wide to the left side. Roethlisberger takes. Here's the pitch. Parker running to his right, trying to find a blocker, could not. He's hit back behind the line. He's dropped at the 25-yard line by the middle linebacker, Al Wilson.
Well, that's 6 rushes for Parker, I believe, for 5 yards. So, and I think what has happened to Parker, you remember early in the game, he fumbled the ball, it was replayed, and they gave the ball back to Pittsburgh. But what happens to young backs in situations like this, they are so concerned about not fumbling the football that they don't play the game the way they should and let their abilities take over. So to me, it looks like Parker is a little bit reserved right now.
And he lost a yard on that last play. Ninth play of the drive coming up. Steelers go with Bettison Kreider in the backfield. 2nd and 11 at the Denver 25-yard line. Roethlisberger takes. Back to throw. Runs up the middle. Saw it open and then slides and gets to the 22 where he's covered up by Gerard Warren, the right defensive tackle. So Big Ben saw everyone was covered and went straight up the middle.
You know, I'm thinking about changing Big Ben's nickname to Big Play Ben. And the reason I'm saying that is because he has 124 rating in the postseason. He's 25-4 all time in all the games that he's played, 13-1 on the road, and has almost a 9.5 yards per attempt, which is a gaudy number. So he makes the most out of his completions.
He's looking at a 3rd and long now. Inside the 25-yard line, Haynes checks into the backfield. Roethlisberger out of the shotgun now. Swings it out to the left side. It is caught at the far side by Antoine Randall L. And he's able to run it inside the 15-yard line. So the Steelers are back in the Heinz red zone.
And boy, are they impressive on offense. They've done it down the field, throwing the football. They've thrown little swing passes. Antoine Randall L. is hidden behind the line of scrimmage. He catches the ball. He's got a nice lead blocker, and he goes right for the first down marker. Boy, did they look good on offense.
It's a first down at the Denver 13-yard line as we approach 4 minutes to play in this first half. An outstanding first half for the Steelers. Roethlisberger takes, and a penalty flag is thrown. False start called on the bus, Jerome Bettis.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, what happened here is the Denver Broncos really showed blitz early. I think Bettis saw that from his vantage point in the backfield and wanted to get up there quickly to give Ben Roethlisberger plenty of room to throw the football, but he moved before the ball was snapped.
Talking about Ben Roethlisberger, he is the first quarterback since the NFL merger back in 1970 to take a team to a title game in his first 2 seasons. And this year he's done it by winning consecutive difficult road games against the Bengals and the Colts. It's a 1st and 15 at the 18. Roethlisberger back to throw. Again, a long look. Rolling right. Couldn't find anybody and runs it inside the 15-yard line where he's met by Michael Myers, the left defensive tackle.
If he would have looked left, he would have saw Jerome Bettis standing wide open on about the 12-yard line. And this is the part of Ben's game that I actually like, because he moves around very well in the pocket, does not panic, always keeps his eyes downfield, always looking for the big play. You know, that's not something you can coach a player to do. You got to have some guts and some poise to hold on to that football under those adverse conditions, and that's what he's excelled at.
And you say moves around pretty well. We're talking about a guy 6'5", about 242 pounds. Here is the pitch out to Parker, running left, and he is tripped up. Not much there. Willie Parker could not make the turn. Trevor Price following him to the far side. It'll be a 2nd down and 9 at the 12-yard line.
Well, that time Willie Parker should have gained the corner. And again, I go back to the point where I think he's playing tentative right now because of the fumble. earlier on. And I would not be surprised here to see a timeout for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Make it a third down. Third down and 9 at the 12. And Haynes now in the backfield alongside Roethlisberger working out of the gun. And movement both sides of the line. We get a flag.
Pittsburgh. First charge timeout.
And apparently the Steelers took a timeout.
Well, the reason I said that is because I saw Bill Cowher all the way down by the 15-yard line, talking to the official, and there's no way that Bill Cowher is going to let that ball be snapped when he's standing down there.
Back in Denver, it's the Steelers 10 and the Broncos 3. We have 2:14 remaining in the first half. 13th play of the drive coming up in a moment. Pittsburgh has had it for over 7 minutes. It'll be a third down and 9 at the 12-yard line. Steelers huddle up back at their 20, led to the line by the center, Jeff Hardings. They go to a spread offense for Ron Haynes in the backfield. Roethlisberger working out of the shotgun. Signals being called. It's a long count. Now he takes the snap. Looks to throw. Throws underneath. It is caught inside the 5 by Haynes. Ron Haynes picks up 9 on the play, which puts it right at the marker, and it is indicated as a first down. It'll be a first and goal for the Steelers at the 3 as we have hit the 2-minute warning. So we've reached the 2-minute warning delivered to you by FedEx. For more football action, visit FedExFootball.com. Steelers 10, Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Hello, I'm Boomer Esiason. Every year, thousands of business people use football cliches when they shouldn't. They say, let's split the uprights, or let's run it up the middle. Meanwhile, coworkers may wonder, where are these uprights? Or shouldn't I be wearing a helmet? Next time, try saying, let's go with FedEx. It can save time and embarrassment. And for football action, go to FedExFootball.com to learn more about the FedEx Air and Ground Awards. FedEx, it's the right play. Oops, my bad.
This is a big country, with lots of choices when it comes to places to live. So why haven't furnace manufacturers noticed? Well, York has. Only York's Affinity Series furnace with ClimateTrack has customizable settings just for your area of the country. So it runs efficiently, quietly, and with the sleek new cabinet, beautifully. The Affinity Series furnace with ClimateTrack, just the latest innovation from York. For the York dealer near you, call 800-910-YORK. It's time to get comfortable.
Hey, I just finished our taxes with TurboTax.
Shouldn't we have gone to one of those tax stores?
Well, TurboTax asks me questions just like H&R Block does, and then it puts the answers on all the right forms.
But the tax guy checks it.
TurboTax checks for errors and missed deductions, too.
How do we know it's right?
Honey, calculations are guaranteed accurate. Besides, over 20 million returns were prepared with TurboTax last year alone.
Huh. If it's so good, how much are we getting back?
Take a look.
Wow.
TurboTax. Taxes made easy, taxes done right. Learn more at TurboTax.com or visit a retailer near you.
2 minutes to go in this first half, and the Steelers with a first and goal down at the 3. Boomer has made it down to the set at NFL Today, which is right near that Denver end zone.
Yeah, I got a great vantage point right here, Marv, as the Steelers now go to their big man offense, their goal line offense. So great opportunity for a play action pass or look for the bus off the right side.
Yes, Jerome Bettis checking back in. He's the lone deep back. Roethlisberger looks it over. Signals being called. Roethlisberger with the handoff. Here comes Bettis moving to his right. He got stacked up. Took second effort, and he's in. Touchdown! Jerome Bettis. It appeared they had stopped him. In fact, he ran into one of his own men, but he kept going and was able to drive forward for a 3-yard touchdown run. And Pittsburgh now leads it 16-3.
And a terrific effort by Jerome Bettis, reminiscent of Mike Anderson on that 4th and 1 when he was actually tackled at the line of scrimmage, but it's the second effort that Jerome Bettis uses to get himself in the end zone. A nice run, and what a nice story developing for the guy from Detroit. And remember, that's where Super Bowl 40 is going to be, and the Steelers can hang on. It's going to be a nice homecoming for Jerome Bettis.
And now here's Jeff Reed for the point after. Greg Warren will snap. Chris Gardocki, the punter, will will put it down. Signals being called. Snap. Ball placed down. The kick is up. It is good. And with that touchdown a moment ago, Remax makes another donation to the Children's Miracle Network. Remax. Nobody sells more real estate than Remax. The Steelers in command here in the first half. They now lead the Broncos 17-3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood Lawn.
He's at the 10, 5, touchdown.
What's the best touchdown celebration? Is it dunking the ball over the goalpost? Or maybe pulling a pen out of your sock and autographing the ball? No, the best celebration is when a player simply hands the ref the ball. It isn't his first time in the end zone. He's just doing his job. At UPS, we can relate. We deliver more packages on time than anyone else. That's our job. And the only ones giving autographs are our customers. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Build your custom sportscast today at cbssportsline.com. This free feature is available on demand 24/7 and includes the latest news, highlights, expert analysis, and more. Sportsline Video. Get it today only on cbssportsline.com. Now back to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL playoffs.
Reminder, stay tuned for the Comtrex halftime report with Tommy Tighe. Tommy will preview game 2 of our championship doubleheader between Seattle and Carolina, brought to you by Comtrex. Comtrex knocks out every kind of cold symptom. Jeff Reed will kick it off. Deep man is Charlie Adams. He's back at his 2-yard line. High end over end. Adams takes it, drops it in the end zone. He'll stay right there. Beautiful kick by Reed. Does not allow a return. Let's check in downstairs. Here's John Dockery.
You know, Marv, if you look the first half, it's been all Pittsburgh Steelers, and during the regular season, the Denver Broncos lived and died with turnovers. They were plus 20 turnover ratio, and in that first quarter, there was a golden opportunity for cornerback Champ Bailey for an interception. He could have run it back for a touchdown. It was a dying duck thrown by Big Ben. He didn't make the play the way he did last week against the Patriots and Tom Brady. That would have changed the complexion of this game. Now, Denver has to be cautious.
All right, Doc, Broncos start out from the 20. Tatum Bell in the backfield. Here is Plummer throwing down the right side, and it is picked off by Ike Taylor, and he takes it out of bounds. And that was a dying duck that was thrown up there, intended for Rod Smith. Not a well-thrown pass by Plummer. And Ike Taylor, the 3-year man out of Louisiana Lafayette, was able to field it and make the catch for the interception at the 38-yard line in Denver territory. And the Broncos get it back with a lot of time remaining in this first half, 1:48.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marv, I am sick to my stomach on that pass by Jake Plummer. It was awful. And we could see it from here. The moment he let it go, you knew it was going to be intercepted.
So the Steelers first and 10 at the Denver 38-yard line. Roethlisberger takes the handoff. Parker running to his left, running hard, gets to the 30 and is bumped out of bounds inside the 30. Has a first down. Champ Bailey was able to make the stop. And Willie Parker with his best run of the day. He goes for 10. It's been all Ben Roethlisberger. 12 of 16, 163 yards. 1 touchdown. Prior to that 10-yard run, the Steelers with 12 rushes for 20 yards. That's been it. Here are the Steelers to the line, led by their center, Jeff Hardings. First down at the Denver 28. Pittsburgh looking to add to the lead. They're up 17-3. And off to Parker. Big opening on the left. He's to the 20. He's to the 15. Inside the 15. Another Pittsburgh first down. A 14-yard run. John Lynch, the free safety, was able to get to him. What a hole on the left side for Parker.
And now all of a sudden Parker's starting to run with purpose as opposed to holding it back. And now this is really dangerous for the Denver Broncos right here. They have got to stiffen and at least hold the Steelers to a field goal attempt. They cannot allow them to score a touchdown.
First and 10 at the Bronco 14 as we come up on a minute left in the first half. Signals called by Roethlisberger. He takes. Now the handoff to Bettis. Bettis drives off left tackle and has short yardage. Picks up a couple on the play. Brings up a second down and 8. Michael Myers came up to make the tackle.
And the Steelers do have 2 timeouts left. It's 44 seconds and counting. You would think that they'd want to move it along here a little bit. I mean, they're outside the 10-yard line, and they don't want to get stuck where they have no time left to run plays.
Boomer to going with Bettis and Kreider in the backfield. It's an offset eye. Clock down to 25 seconds to go in the first half.
They got to get moving here. Oh, what are they doing?
Roethlisberger making a change at the line. Here's Roethlisberger with the inside hand. And it's the red snap to Bettis, and he runs it in. Bettis with the touchdown.
The flag on the play.
Yeah, flag is thrown. Illegal formation. It's on Hines Ward.
Well, Hines Ward has to get into the backfield. Now, this is a great design play. Marv, I got to tell you, we used to run this play at Cincinnati. When you see an all-up 11-out blitz like the Broncos just showed there, we would audible the 93 fly. And I remember handing it off to James Brooks against the Dallas Cowboys, and he went for 6. That was the same type of play as the Pittsburgh Steelers take time out, as Jerome Bettis got real tight to Ben Roethlisberger right there next to him. He just slips him the ball, and everybody runs right past him. It was a great executed play, but unfortunately for Hines Ward, he was misaligned.
All right, so a timeout is called by Pittsburgh. 15 seconds remaining in this first half. Later on, we'll be telling you about today's Rolaids moment, brought to you by Extra Strength Rolaids Soft Chews. They're chewy, not chalky, with a taste and texture that antacid users prefer. The Pittsburgh Steelers with a 17-3 lead on the Denver Broncos, and with an opportunity to add some points to that lead.
And here's the problem, Marv. You know, there's only 15 seconds left to go, and the Steelers got 2 timeouts. I mean, what are you saving your timeouts for? They wasted almost 30 seconds on that last play. Now, listen, I know the play was executed well with the exception of Hines Ward, but this is the reason why you wanted to use one of those timeouts to save some time just in case something went wrong.
And off the penalty, the ball's back at the 17. It's a 2nd and 13 at the 17-yard line. Now Parker and Kreider are in the backfield. Roethlisberger ducks in under. Signals called. He takes. Play action. Back to throw. Can't find anybody. Rolling left. Throws end zone. Caught. Touchdown in the back of the end zone. It's caught by Hines Ward. A 17-yard pass play. It's kind of a floating pass. And Hines Ward, who's had a sensational season, 11 touchdowns during the regular year with 69 catches, comes up with his 3rd reception of this game, and the Steelers now lead it 23-3.
Oh, this ball should have been intercepted by Nick Ferguson, number 25. And I'll tell you what, Ben Roethlisberger, when it's your day, it is your day. And right now, he's having a whale of a day. 13 of 17 and 180 yards. He got away with one right there.
All right, Jeff Reed on for the extra point. Signals called. Ball placed down. Here's the kick. It is up, and it is good. With that touchdown, Remax makes another donation to the Children's Miracle Network. Remax, nobody sells more real estate than Remax. All Steelers, 24-3 over Denver. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Know the greatest phrase ever invented in shopping? No, it's not, "I'll just wait in the car." The greatest phrase is, "No thanks, I'm just looking." I mean, what freedom, what liberation, what a great way to buy car insurance. In fact, why not do some looking right now? Go to geico.com. It's quick, it's easy, and you could save hundreds. You know, saving money looks good on you. Geico.com. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, NFL Network is your home for Super Bowl week with over 60 hours of inside access and interviews from Detroit. NFL Network, everything but the game, although we'll have the game right here, CBS Radio Sports and Westwood 1. How about the Broncos had possession of the football for only 7 seconds? That's one play over the last 9.5 minutes.
Well, that just means that Ben Roethlisberger is executing perfectly. They're running the football. And it also helps when Jake Plummer throws a bonehead interception like he did on Denver's last possession. And I feel bad for Jake Marv, and you know you want a guy to play well. You don't want anybody to make mistakes like that, but, you know, Jake's mistake showed up in the most inopportune time.
Only 7 seconds left in the first half. Jeff Reed will kick it off, puts it on the ground. A bouncer that is one hop by Adams. 20, 25, he's to the 30, 35-yard line and taken down with 3 seconds remaining in this first half. Pittsburgh Steelers 24, the Denver Broncos 3. In a startling turn of events that has this crowd silent. It's like a Steeler player is hurt.
And I got to tell you, Marv, it has been a whitewash from the get-go. I mean, you think about the first series that Denver had and Pittsburgh held them, and then I think John Dockery astutely pointed out the fact that Champ Bailey had an opportunity for a touchdown on an interception and could have returned it easily for that touchdown. And from that point on, it has been all Steelers. And I am so impressed with the way this team has been playing, both offensively and defensively, and also special teams-wise. They are a full complement, and they are playing some serious tough football.
And it appears that it's Andre Frazier, backup linebacker, special teams player, rookie from the University of Cincinnati, was shaken up on that kickoff return. And right here, it's time to check in with our sideline reporter, John Dockery, brought to you by Consort Hair Care for Men, guaranteed to give you great hold. Doc?
You know, Denver got it all last week with those 5 turnovers against the Patriots, yeah, and they didn't get much credit for it. A lot of people said the Patriots lost that game, gave it away, and maybe they did, but Denver certainly did get the turnovers, and all year long they've been on the plus side of the turnover ratio. But here, as you mentioned, Boomer, Ferguson should have intercepted that ball in the end zone to Hines Ward. Champ Bailey on the touchdown earlier bit on the fake inside. This is an all-pro cornerback. And then Ben pumps, he bites on it, and then throws outside to Wilson for the touchdown. So the Denver defense today has just been not up to snuff. And as you mentioned, the Pittsburgh offense has been brilliant. Well, and they opened it up, too. A lot of people said all they would do is run the ball. No. Ben has grown in stature.
And you know what else they've done, John? Last week, New England had a heck of a time in the first half dealing with the Denver blitz. I don't know if you see it the way I see it, but I'll tell you right now, the Pittsburgh offense very well prepared to handle the Denver blitz. They've been right on it, and even that last play that was called back on the Jerome Bettis touchdown tells me that they have been well coached and they are executing from an offensive standpoint, just dealing with the Denver blitz that New England had so much trouble with last week.
And Boomer, I agree, it was a brilliant call by Roethlisberger to hit that quick, it's like a dive play, the quick hitting play right up the middle against the blitz. Bettis goes in, but it was called back. You're absolutely right.
They've carted Andre Frazier off the field, shaken up just a moment ago, and we're set to resume. Here is Plummer out of the gun, swings it out. He has Bell running left, gets to the 45. He's dropped at the 46, and that will do it for this first half. How about the Broncos? Only 16 turnovers all season, fewest in the NFL, and they commit 2 costly turnovers in the first half, and they are hearing the boos from this crowd. That's the end of the half. The score, Steelers 24, Broncos 3. When we return, Tommy Tighe will join us with the Comtrex halftime report. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
I'm sorry, emergency. This is Anita. Yeah, we've got a young child in the car, and we need assistance. He looks like he's going into convulsions. Could you please help? I sure can.
Stop and ask yourself, what would you do if this were you?
I'm going to go ahead and contact the police now. County Sheriff's Office. This is Anita with OnStar. I'm calling because I have one of our subscribers on the line who needs an ambulance to their location. Their child is going into convulsions. They're on U.S. Highway 67.
Could you give your exact location?
Let me put them on the line. What's the situation, sir? Hurry, please, hurry. Okay, we'll get help on the way.
Could you get the help you need in time?
I'm going to go ahead and remain on the line with you until police arrive. Is he doing better now? He's all right. That's a good sign. Okay. Is that a police? Yes, it is.
Will you get OnStar before or after you need it?
Please know we're here whenever you need us. Thank you so much.
Choose a vehicle that could help save your life. Choose a vehicle with OnStar. To learn more, visit OnStar.com. OnStar by GM.
The 40
48th Annual Grammy Awards, Wednesday, February 8th at 8 p.m. Tune in to music's biggest night and see who takes home the Grammy for Best Rock Album. Coldplay, Foo Fighters, The Rolling Stones, U2, or Neil Young. Visit Grammy.com for a complete list of nominees and the latest Grammy news. The 48th Annual Grammy Awards, live, loud, unpredictable. Wednesday, February 8th, 8 p.m. on CBS.
Comtrex clears up some cold misperceptions. Your head cold isn't from chilly weather or forgetting your hat. It's from contacting one of 200 cold viruses. That's enough variety to ensure no two colds are exactly the same. Today's raging head cold is proof. Likewise, all cold medicines aren't the same. Comtrex Severe Cold and Sinus has an ingredient specifically designed to break up sinus congestion that not every cold medicine can. Comtrex Severe Cold and Sinus also relieves headache and sinus pain. Comtrex knocks out every kind of cold symptom.
Welcome back to the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1. Time to knock out the Comtrex halftime report. Brought to you by Comtrex. Comtrex knocks out every kind of cold symptom. Once again, here's Tommy Ty.
Thank you, along with Alex Chavez at the controls. Our score through 30 of the AFC Championship game. Pittsburgh 24, Denver 3. Coming up later on many of these same stations from Seattle, it's the NFC Championship game. The Seahawks reaching the title tilt for the first time since the 1983 team lost to the LA Raiders. While they've never played in the Super Bowl, Carolina's trying to play in their second one in 3 campaigns. A victory today by the Panthers would be their 5th in a row in the postseason outside of Charlotte. That would be a league first. With more from the Pacific Northwest, here are the two gentlemen calling the action this afternoon, Joel Myers and John Riggins. Fellas?
Thanks, Tommy. Highest scoring team in the NFL trying to win the NFC Championship and back to the title game for the first time since the 1983 season. Well, the Seattle Seahawks, John Riggins, do have concerns coming in. The biggest, well, the league MVP and the rushing champion, Shaun Alexander.
There's no question about that, Joe. Last week, an extremely disappointing performance, I thought, from Shaun Alexander. He carries the ball 6 times, he gains 9 yards, and on that 6th carry, he's knocked unconscious and leaves the game with concussion, not to return again. And right now, his play, I think if you're the Seattle Seahawks, this is what this game is really going to come down to today, because if we look at his past record in the playoffs, he's got 40-plus carries for 90-plus yards in 3 games. That's not exactly the Shaun Alexander that everybody's used to seeing during the season. This last season named MVP with 1,880 yards rushing, 28 touchdowns. It would seem to me that they really need his production today to be able to go against this Carolina defense, because they're the 4th best team against the rush. This should be interesting, and psychologically, because he hasn't played well, I got to believe this stage is bigger. The net has been removed. It was removed 3 weeks ago when the playoffs started, and now they're 50 feet higher than they were last week. I don't think this is the spot for Shaun Alexander to come out and break out get rid of the nerves, but that's clearly what he's going to have to do.
And they also have injury concerns with Darrell Jackson, a bad knee, and Bobby Ingram, who did not practice all week, the wide receiver in his 10th year out of Penn State. Well, he's suffering from a sore back. Injuries for the Carolina Panthers as well. Missing the entire 4th quarter of the Chicago game. Julius Peppers, their best rush in, and, well, he took a stinger, a shoulder injury, but they say that he did practice enough, and they feel confident he's going to be okay.
Well, I think Mike Rucker said it best. The end on the other side, defensive end, that's going to take a lot for the big man to miss a game, and I think that's exactly right. Julius Peppers will play. He also had a little touch of the flu late in the week. I think that's all behind him now, and I think if he doesn't, it's Al Wallace has got to step up and play big for the Carolina Panthers. Another guy we have to mention who's not going to be active today is Deshaun Foster, who was the guy the running back that everybody looked at. He gets knocked out with a broken leg last week, and so now it's all about Nick Goings running the ball for the Carolina Panthers. That is going to be an interesting matchup as well. I think Goings is a very capable back, but I tell you, what I saw last week when I watched the Seahawks defense, they're very good against the run. So there are some injuries here that I think are going to shade, maybe color this game somewhat today.
Well, it's good news and great news. In fact, this is a city that went, well, before we got here this weekend, 30 out of the last 33 days they had precipitation. Didn't rain yesterday, and it's great football weather today. It should be right around 50 degrees, the high 40s for kickoff. Hopefully, it will stay dry. It has, though, for the last 24 hours. So we're just about ready to go. Let's head back now to Tommy Tighe in our Westwood 1 RE/MAX broadcast studios.
All right, Joel, Mike Holmgren with a win would become only the 5th coach to take 2 teams to the Super Bowl. Good news for him. In 8 of the last 12 years, the NFC's #1 seed has advanced to the big game. When we return to the RE/MAX broadcast studios, more of the Comtrex NFL Playoffs halftime report. Our score at the break, Steelers 24, Broncos 3. This is Westwood 1's coverage of the National Football League.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you sure? If you want to host the ultimate Super Bowl party, call Wing Zone now at 257-5949. Did you hear me? Wing Zone, 257-5949. Ask about their catering specials. Special number 1, 100 wings or 50 chicken fingers, $59.99. Special number 2, 100 wings and 50 chicken fingers, $129.99. Special number 3, 200 wings or 100 chicken fingers, $169.99. Specials include celery, dressing, and wedge fries. Serve 10 to 30 people with a special that's right for your party. Wing Zone, delivered hot and fresh to your party. Call 257-5949 now.
If you're wild about your hair, stop in at the #1 full-service salon in Ormond Beach, Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road. You can get a full set of pink and white acrylics for just $35. Low light and highlight special with Greg for $75. A manicure and pedicure, $75 for both. Call 673-9898 for an appointment. That's 673-9898. Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road.
Magic Overhead Door Company, located at 528 North Beach Street, Daytona Beach, are the ones you can trust with over 30 years' experience installing Genie garage doors and servicing any make and model garage door. Magic Overhead Door Company also does gate access systems. For the best in customer service and satisfaction, the ones to call are Magic Overhead Door Company, fully licensed and insured, a company you can trust with over 30 years' experience. 253-5396, 253-5396.
Experience the best golf value in the area when you play Riverbend Golf Club. Riverbend Golf Club is a beautiful 18-hole public course situated by the Tomoka River amongst majestic oaks, red cedars, pines, and magnolias, and each hole on the course is well thought out and unique. Riverbend Golf Club is a perfect blend of natural surroundings combined with a competitive and scenic golf course layout. Under new management, completely renovated and open to the public, Riverbend Golf Club offers a fully stocked pro shop, driving range, and after your game, relax in the Manatee Bar and Grill. If your game's a little rusty, polish it up at the Lawson Mitchell Golf Academy at Riverbend Golf Club. Riverbend is a must-play for those who enjoy a blend of competitive golf with nature's offerings. Riverbend Golf Club, 730 Airport Road, Ormond Beach. Call today for tee times, 673-6000. That's 673-6000. Or visit their website at playriverbendgolf.com.
Now open in Daytona Beach is the world-famous Tuna Charlie's Fish House. Fresh seafood and grilled wings. If it's oysters, clams, scallops, and crabs, Tuna Charlie's Fish House is definitely the place to go. Fish and chips for only $4.95. Shrimp basket and fries, $5.95. $2 off any fried seafood combo dinner. The world-famous Tuna Charlie's Fish House is located at 145 North Bridgewood Avenue, Daytona Beach, and that's right next to the West Tower. Call Tuna Charlie's world-famous Fish House today at 254-4770. 254-4770.
Hey parents, want your kids to have the skills necessary for a successful life? I'm Rob Heller. When I realized my 12-year-old was struggling to master basic people skills, I went looking for a program to help. I couldn't find anything that taught important life skills, like how to greet people properly, look them in the eye, or become a good listener. Not even character-building traits like handling being teased, saying no to peer pressure, and dozens of other challenging situations all kids face. That's why I created a revolutionary new program called Boost Kids. Boost Kids reenacts real-life scenarios on an interactive CD that demonstrate the people skills your child needs to succeed. I promise Boost Kids will do 3 things for your child. Teach them people skills, build their character, and boost their confidence. Let's face it, developing these skills are what makes people successful in life.
Go to boostkids.com and watch the Boost Kids webmercial. That's boostkids.com. BOOSTKIDS.com.
Blue Diamond almonds?
The bold fresh roasted taste.
They look like little footballs. Look at this.
Yeah, look at
They're
that.
football nuts, and we're football nuts.
That could be their slogan, Blue Diamond Almonds, the football nut for football nuts.
That's genius.
They taste better than footballs, too. They could add that.
There's no better snack than fresh roasted Blue Diamond almonds. They score big points on any occasion. That's why Kroger carries Blue Diamond almonds and all your game-watching favorites, like beverages and cold cuts. Stop by Kroger today and pick up a can of Blue Diamond almonds.
Chili Hotline.
Yeah, listen, we're having folks over for dinner, and...
Ooh, a real fiesta, huh?
Yeah, sort of, except my wife wants grilled veggies, and I want beef.
Well, bring home a box of Stag Fiesta grilled chili with juicy beef and fire-roasted veggies.
Wow, that is a fiesta. Sounds...
Ooh, delicious. Chili Hotline.
Hey, I'm into kickboxing.
Wow, exercising your rights.
And my lefts, so I need to stay lean.
Stag Silverado Lean Beef Chili, 97% fat-free.
They do that?
Chili is all they do. You can beef up and beef up.
I love it.
Stag Chili, the chili lovers love.
We're here on Groundhog Day, and it looks like the groundhog is popping his head up, and he's moving towards the podium. My goodness, the groundhog is going to speak.
Can you people, please, replace your old wiper blades with Rain-X blades so that you can see better and not run over my friends and family? And as for the weather, listen, I am a groundhog, not a meteorologist for Pete's sakes.
Every Groundhog Day, change your wiper blades to Rain-X blades. They can handle any weather, even 6 more weeks of winter.
Honey?
Yeah?
Can you keep the kids busy? I'm doing our taxes.
Oh, that's right. We're using TurboTax this year.
And it's so easy. TurboTax asks these simple questions, and it automatically fills in all the right forms.
Really?
Uh-huh. TurboTax also checks for errors, and calculations are guaranteed accurate.
Well, what about deductions?
Found ones I didn't even think of.
Like those little tax deductions jumping on the sofa?
What?
The kids.
No, I remembered them.
TurboTax. Taxes made easy, taxes done right. Learn more at TurboTax.com or visit a retailer near you.
Visit CBSSportsline.com tonight for a complete wrap-up of all the day's action. Get video highlights, in-depth analysis, and exclusive postgame shows only on CBSSportsline.com. Time now for the second half of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Back at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver, Colorado, Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, and John Dockery. It has been a dismantling of the Broncos by the Steelers, who at the half have a 24-3 lead. Let's check today's stats through the air. Delivered to you by FedEx for all your shipping needs. For more football action, visit FedExFootball.com. Ben Roethlisberger, a brilliant first half, 13 of 17, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. While Jake Plummer has had his problems, 6 of 11, 80 yards, and intercepted once. Cedric Wilson, 3 catches, 47 yards. Hines Ward, 3 catches, 45 yards. And each have a touchdown. Right here, time to open up the Wayne Dalton playbook, designed by Wayne Dalton Garage Doors, innovation and design. For more details, visit WayneDalton.com. All right, Boomer, how would you design a way for Denver to get back into this game?
Well, first and foremost, you can't panic. You got a whole second half here to play. You're down 3 touchdowns. It seems like it's an insurmountable lead, but it's not. So you got to get back to your basics. And really what you want to do, number one, defensively, you got to get a turnover. You can't let Pittsburgh maintain possession of the football. 3 and out would be a good way to start here in the second half. And 2 is stick with your running game and give it to Mike Anderson, not Tatum Bell, and let him get you back into the game. And before you know it, maybe in the fourth quarter, you're down by 10 points, and you can find yourself in striking distance.
Here's the kickoff by Todd Sauerbrunn. Denver, played by Ike Taylor at the 5. He's to the 10, angles right, 15. He's to the 20 and taken down out near the 25-yard line. A 20-yard return. Let's check in. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery.
You know, Marvin Boomer, Mike Shanahan's design to come back into this game may be a little more aggressive. Armin Katayan, our colleague at CBS, was talking with him, and he said, it's actually Rod Smith, a very emotional locker room. They get up and said, hey, we think we're going to Detroit. We're not going anywhere unless we make it happen in the second half. They're going to throw all caution to the wind. They're going to come after the Steelers, and when they get the ball, they're going to go downfield and try to score quickly.
All right, Doc, Steelers start out from their 26-yard line. Parker is the feature back. Here's Roethlisberger swinging one out to the left, and he has Ward in the left flat. A short pickup, made the catch at the 30-yard line, and then it was pushed back, picked up 5 on that play.
Well, you know, one thing about Jake Plummer is he'll come back in a game. I mean, he will continue to fight, but 2 turnovers, huge in this game. The fumble by Jake Plummer, that really wasn't his fault. Joey Porter beat Matt Lepsis and forced the fumble, but that interception towards the end of the first half was just a killer. That led to the final touchdown by the Steelers. So if they put Jake Plummer in a position where he's got to throw a lot, there could be a lot of opportunities for that Pittsburgh defense.
Roethlisberger ducks in under, signals call, takes the handoff. Parker hit back behind the line, dumped back behind the 30 by the right corner, Dominique Foxworth.
Well, finally, Dominique is going to make a play here. He's been victimized time and again all game long because he's given up too much of a cushion to the wide receivers of the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially when Denver is blitzing. Because the one thing that I did notice is that Pittsburgh has been very well schooled to handle this blitz that Denver threw at New England that they had so much trouble with last week. So give Ken Wisenhunt a lot of credit as the offensive coordinator of the Steelers.
Steelers now 3rd down and 6. Back at the 30-yard line, Ron Haynes in the backfield as Roethlisberger takes out of the gun and throws one to the right flat. It's caught by Ward, and Ward is stacked up. His forward progress is stopped. Across the 35-yard line. Let's see where they spotted. Apparently, he did pick up the first down. Went for 7 on that pass play, and it's a first down for Pittsburgh.
And that's exactly what you don't want if you are a Denver Bronco. I mean, Pittsburgh, I think, was 6 of 7 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. I mean, this is how you hold on to the football. So really, this Denver defense has got to create a turnover or two. They have to make a play, but they're getting pushed around all over the field.
1st and 10 now for the Steelers at their 37-yard line. They're going from right to left. Hand off to Parker, running to his right, and he is tackled at the 41, running hard to his right. Went for 4, but the strong safety, Nick Ferguson, was there. Picked up 4 yards on the play to bring up a 2nd down and 6.
And this is how things are going today. As Nick Ferguson hits Parker, the ball actually is jarred loose. But where does the ball go? It goes out of bounds. So there's no chance for an opportunity, of a Denver player falling on it. So everything right now going the way of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now Jerome Bettis checks into the backfield, scored a touchdown late in the first half. 2nd and long for Pittsburgh. Here's the handoff to Bettis, looks for the hole on the right, and works his way out near the 45-yard line. Michael Myers able to make the tackle. Pittsburgh up front has Marvell Smith and Max Starks at the tackles. Alan Fanakin making it to the Pro Bowl for the 5th time at left guard. Kendall Simmons, the right guard. And the center is Pro Bowler Jeff Hardings.
If you ask me, they're the ones who are winning this football game. I know the statistics go to Ben Roethlisberger, they go to Hines Ward and Cedric Wilson. But you've got to command respect at the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what the Steeler offensive line has done thus far today.
It's a 3rd and 3. Pittsburgh at their 44. Roethlisberger takes out of the shotgun. He steps up and then throws one, a feathery touch, a beautiful pass to Antoine Randall L. Makes the catch, gets down near the 40 in Denver territory, and has a first down. They'll mark it at the 38-yard line. Dominique Foxworth making the tackle, picked up 12 on the play, another Pittsburgh first down.
And Marvin, it starts with pass protection. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger had 5 seconds back in the pocket. He steps up calmly and delivers, as you said, a feathery football. And it's just execution by the offensive line of the Steelers.
4 minutes gone by in this 3rd quarter. Steelers 24, Broncos 3. Here's the handoff to Parker, trying to pick his way. And short yardage. Demetrin Veal is right there from his right defensive tackle position. Pittsburgh has now run 25 of the last 27 plays.
Well, and the reason being is because Jake Plummer threw that interception there at the end of the second half. But, the thing about Pittsburgh, if they continue to eat up the clock like this, it's going to force Denver to move away from their running game and try to force the issue from an offensive standpoint. And I think that's disaster waiting to happen.
2nd down and 10. Back at the 42-yard line. Ward is flanked wide left side. Roethlisberger looking at Ward. Now throws the other way, and it is dropped. Pass intended for Bettis coming out of the backfield. Bettis made the turn, tried to come up with it, but the pass was short. It'll be a 3rd and 10 at the 42.
I'll tell you, the Steelers come right out. They've controlled the ball for almost 5 minutes to start the second half. And, I mean, it's just been a complete whitewash on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's just whatever they want to do, they do it. And 3rd and long has been their specialty today.
Ward flanks wide left side. Randall L. in the slot to the left. Ron Haynes in the backfield. Out of the gun, Roethlisberger takes. Roethlisberger running to his right. And he throws on the run. It is caught out at the 35 by Parker, who's taken down immediately shy of a first down. That's good for 7. But he's about 3 yards away from the first down marker.
And I think if I'm Bill Cowher, I got to punt the ball here. I don't want to be messing around. I don't want to be going for it. I don't want to be attempting a field goal and missing the field goal and giving the Broncos good field position on offense. It could be a pooch punt by Ben Roethlisberger, which he has done from the shotgun before. But they better make a decision here because they have 15, 14, 13. They're going to have to either use a timeout or just take it all the way down and punt it to give the punter a little bit more room, which is, I think, what they're going to do. I can't imagine them blowing one of their timeouts right here. So they'll take the delay of the game, move the punter back a little bit, give him a little bit better chance to cough and corner the ball, and play field position. That's exactly what they should do.
And that is the move as the flag.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it does provide Chris Gardocki with a little more room to operate. This is first punt of the day.
That's the domination that the Steelers have had. And look where he's punting from. He's standing at his own 45-yard line. So, again, if you're going to punt, this is where you want to punt from.
Charlie Adams had dropped back in a single safety. Now they make a change. Rod Smith is back at the 10. And here is Gardocki taking the snap and sends one high end over end that is downed inside the 5-yard line. It is down by Ricardo Coakley, able to race downfield. It's a 37-yard punt and a beauty by Gardocki. A break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG, insurance, loans, retirement. 9 minutes to play in the third. Steelers 24 and the Broncos 3. This is Westwood One's coverage of the National Football League.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you sure? If you want to host the ultimate Super Bowl party, call Wing Zone now at 257-5949. Did you hear me? Wing Zone, 257-5949. Ask about their catering specials. Special number 1, 100 wings or 50 chicken fingers, $59.99. Special number 2, 100 wings and 50 chicken fingers, $129.99. Special number 3, 200 wings or 100 chicken fingers, $169.99. Specials include celery, dressing, and wedge fries. Serve 10 to 30 people with a special that's right for your party. Wing Zone, delivered hot and fresh to your party. Call 257-5949 now.
Back in Denver, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Westwood One, your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 40.
WELE Norman Beach. They may try to stop us, but they can't. The alternative talk station. Daytona's Real News, Real Talk.
Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, John Dockery. 9 minutes, 9 seconds to play in the third. And the Steelers, rather the Broncos start out from back at the 3-yard line, and Plummer dropping deep into his end zone, throws a flare to Anderson at the far side, and Anderson is stopped at the line. It brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 3, Joey Porter, on the coverage of Anderson.
It also looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is in the offensive huddle of the Denver Broncos. Now listen, this is an area where Jake Plummer cannot make a mistake. If he makes a mistake here, game's over.
2nd and 10 from the 3. Play action. Plummer back to throw again from his end zone. He throws, and it's over the head of Rod Smith. Smith had a shot at it. He was double covered out of the 25-yard line, but it's an incomplete pass.
And the one thing I know about the Steelers, they will pour it on. They will not stop. They are relentless on defense. They are some of the best tacklers. As I watched the replay, the ball goes right through the hands of Rod Smith. Would have been a tough catch, but I really think a guy of his ilk should have made that catch. But the Steelers are not going to back off. I mean, they will blitz and they will hit you, and they know that Jake's a little shaky right now.
3rd down and 10 at the 3. Here's Plummer back to throw again from his end zone. He dumps it off. He has Anderson. Anderson is taken down right near the goal line. Tremendous pressure put on by the Steelers. Troy Polamalu made the tackle. The ball is spotted at the half-yard line.
I just want to know, where did he come from? I mean, he is like so sudden. If Steve Smith is the most explosive offensive player left in the playoffs, well, this guy is his counterpart on defense. He is unbelievable how sudden he gets to the point of attack.
And that was close to being a safety. Antoine Randall now back in single safety. Sauerbrunn out for the second time, punting from deep in his end zone. Not a good punt played by Antoine Randall at the midfield stripe. Works his way to the 40, and he is taken down. An 11-yard return. Kyle Johnson involved on the tackle. Well, with that almost being a safety a moment ago, OnStar reminds you to protect your family from the unexpected with OnStar. Help is only a button push away. OnStar by GM. Visit OnStar.com for more information. 7.5 remaining in the third quarter. Steelers 24, Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Win something golf's great legends haven't. A playing lesson with Hank Haney at Cog Hill Golf Club. Enter the Cialis Western Open Sweepstakes for a chance to win a grand prize trip for two to the 2006 Cialis Western Open in Chicago, including a lesson with Hank, air travel, hotel, and more. Are you ready to win? Get official rules and enter for a chance to win the Cialis Tadalafil Western Open Sweepstakes at Cialis.com/golf. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 18 and older. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends June 23, 2006.
Travelocity presents The Roaming Gnome, denouncer of travel myths. Myth number 1. Cruises are too darn pricey.
Nonsense. With Travelocity's Cruise Super Sale, there are tons of splendid cruise deals.
Myth 2. Do not bring your own tunes to the cruise ballroom.
What? It's a classic.
As an exclusive benefit, MasterCard cardholders get up to $300 back. Visit Travelocity.com/supersale for details. Restrictions apply. Travelocity. You'll never roam alone.
Back in Denver, it's time for the Campbell's Chunky Trivia Question, brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Soup. Try new fajita beef or fajita chicken. Hearty, meaty soups with a zesty Southwestern flavor. All right, Boomer, this marks the 13th appearance in a championship game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the second most since the AFL-NFL merger. Now, which team is the only one to have been in more title games since back in 1970? I know you want to think about that. There are several possibilities.
Several good candidates.
Yes. Are you eating a hot dog?
No, I'm eating a cookie, and it's really good. It's one of those ginger kind of oatmeal cookies.
Perhaps more information that we have requested. Steelers, first down at the Denver 39-yard line. Here's the handoff to Parker, running to his left, and gets to the 37-yard line. Picks up 3. Dominique Foxworth making the tackle. Talking about the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the way they have come on in early December. It appeared the Steelers would not make the playoffs. At one point, they were 7-5. They're fading fast. 3 straight losses. The turnaround game, December 11th, a win over the Bears that was sparked by Jerome Bettis.
And not only Jerome Bettis, their defense. I mean, that was Pittsburgh Steelers football. If you remember, a couple of those, the second half of that game was played in the snow.
2nd and 7 now at the Bronco 36-yard line. Again to give Parker straight ahead, and just a short advance. DJ Williams comes up from strong side linebacker to make the stop. Let's check in with John Dockery. Doc?
And Marv, you're so right about the Steelers not letting up. Going in at the half, Bill Cowher was talking about and telling his players, use this as a 0-0 game. You know, we haven't won this yet. We got them down, but let's keep it going. And Joey Porter, the emotional pulse of this team, was yelling at his teammates to keep their pedal to the metal. We got these guys down. Don't let them up. Don't let them breathe.
All right, Doc, 3rd down and 4. Pittsburgh at the Denver 33-yard line. Roethlisberger takes out of the gun. Now steps up and throws. It is dropped. Pass intended for Ward, who took a jarring hit in the left flat from the left corner, Champ Bailey, so that broke it up. And it brings up a 4th and 4 at the Bronco 33.
And I don't think there's any question here. I do believe that you have to punt this ball again. Just keep playing field position. And John talked about what Denver wanted to do at the beginning of the second half. Well, their offense came out, ran 3 plays, and actually lost yardage, where it's very hard to lose yardage on your own 2-yard line. And I really think that this second half has been played, you know, in Bronco territory. So there's no reason to mess around here. Just punt it away, play good, solid defense, and, you know, just play Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Gardocki is on for only the 2nd time. He has been Mr. Consistent. Another solid year. He averaged 42 yards per punt Denver goes again with Rod Smith. Single safety back at his 10, and once again, the Steelers take a delay of game.
5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
So that will give Gardocki more room to operate. They push it back on the 5-yard penalty. Smith remains back at his 10-yard line, awaiting his punt. 6 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Signals being called. Here's the snap. Gardocki takes it, and it is a floater over the head of Smith. Pittsburgh once again looks to down it, and they do. A spectacular play, a leap into the end zone by Chidi Iwoma, and they down it again at the 3.
Well, this is the second time Iwoma has done this in successive series. So a nice play by the special teams of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Every facet of the game is being won by Pittsburgh.
So again, the Broncos will have to start out from their 3-yard line. A break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG Insurance, Loans, Retirement. Just under 6 to play in this third quarter. Steelers 24, Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
On the next American Shopper Fantasy Bikes, when Joseph McClendon's mom got cancer, he gladly sold his motorcycle to pay her bills.
She said that you must rebuild it or build something else that's going to make you happy.
Joseph, today's your lucky day.
Oh my God! We're going to build you a bike.
Watch the Tuttles give Joseph his ultimate ride.
Look at this!
Then watch Joseph lose his absolute mind.
Speechless.
Let's all discover dreams can come true. American Shopper Fantasy Bikes. New episode Monday at 10 Eastern Pacific. Only on the Discovery Channel.
Hey, neighbor, I'm thinking about getting a GMC Sierra pickup. Which one would you recommend?
Doesn't matter.
What? You, Mr. Sierra, says it doesn't matter?
Well, Sierra's torque makes it the most powerful line of V8s available. It's like asking, which mallet should you use to crush a bug? Which linebacker should you get to open a pickle jar? Which thoroughbred should you hire for pony rides at your kid's birthday?
I get the idea.
Good, because I was beginning to run out of metaphors.
No matter how you use your GMC truck, we engineer them all to the highest standard, professional grade.
Ever drive up to your home, push the garage door opener remote, and nothing happens? There's no power. Sound familiar? It happens to thousands of people every month. Now, there's a LiftMaster garage door opener with EverCharge battery backup that opens and closes your garage door even when the power is out. Now that's extra peace of mind. Don't get locked out when the power's out. Have the LiftMaster EverCharge battery backup garage door opener installed today. For an authorized dealer, visit liftmaster.com. LiftMaster from Chamberlain. We're making access easier.
Time for an injury update brought to you by Equifax. Identity thieves can prevent you from getting the things you want. Visit Equifax.com today to learn how to protect yourself. Pittsburgh backup linebacker and special teamer Andre Frazier was injured late in the first half. They're told it's an ankle. He is going for x-rays, and he is out the rest of the game.
You know, Marv, I think that the Denver Broncos are challenging the last call, saying that Iwoma actually had the ball in his hands while his foot was on the goal line. Now, I just saw the replay, and I think that this will be overturned, and Denver will actually finally get a break and get the ball at their 20-yard line as opposed to having it on their own 3.
Yes, off that punt by Gardocki. Chidi Iwoma racing, leaping right at the goal line, and the call down on the field was that he was able to get to it.
It happened so quickly.
It did. So right now Denver is at the 3, but if they overturn it, it will be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. This Close Shave Instant Replay Review is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream and Gel for close shave. Better by Barbasol.
We better send a case of that stuff to Jake Plummer and Ben Roethlisberger, as they have some ugly beards. Actually, I heard it on one of my buddies this week on one of the radio shows that I do, Marv. Actually said that this was the game between Grizzly Adams, Jake Plummer, and Sasquatch, Ben Roethlisberger. I've actually seen 2 different views of the replay, so this is not going to be easy for Terry McAuley to overturn what he saw on the field. Remember, you got to have indisputable evidence.
At halftime, I ran into Phil Simms. He killed you.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, I was I was embarrassed for you.
Yeah, he had the pink tie on.
I defended you.
He had a little pink tie on. He was trying to come after me. Come on, you know. Well, what do you mean? You just got done telling me he was killing me.
Killed you.
So how many cheap shots was he taking at me at halftime?
12. Was counting.
All right, so I owe him 10 more.
But he did bring up, as you did, he said he remembers back in the Super Bowl on that play that was called back because of the penalty on Bettis on the draw, taking it in, and it was called back.
Yep.
Pointed out what you had said, I guess you and Icky Woods.
Well, I'll explain that right after this.
After review, kicking team player's right hand was touched the ball when his left foot touched the goal line. Result of the play is a touchback.
So finally a break for the Denver Broncos, Marv. And the play that you're alluding to is where you read an all-up 11 blitz, and Ben Roethlisberger read it perfectly. And then the running back, in this case it was Jerome Bettis, snuggles up to the line of scrimmage right in between the center and the guard and points to one of those defenders as if he's going to block him because Ben Roethlisberger's audibling to a pass. And instead, he quickly hands the ball to Bettis. Bettis runs past everybody for a touchdown. It was perfectly executed, except for the fact that Hines Ward was lined up wrong.
All right, Denver starting from the 20. Here's Plummer back to throw. He dunks it, and it's dropped. It is dropped out of the 32 by a wide-open Steven Alexander, the tight end, uncovered, not able to hang on. It brings up a 2nd and 10.
And how about Denver? No first downs in the last 20 minutes. I mean, it's been anemic offensive performance for the Denver Broncos, and plays like that just kill you. So can it get any worse? Well, it can if you turn the football over, and hopefully Jake Plummer won't do that from a Bronco perspective.
2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Anderson in the backfield. Here's Plummer back to throw. He does. It's caught by Rod Smith out of the 28, short of a first down. Clark Higgins comes up to make the tackle. That's a 9-yard pickup. Clark Higgins had an outstanding regular season. 9 sacks, career high, 4 forced fumbles out of Colorado State. Back from a fractured hand that was suffered last year. Solid linebacker. You have Higgins on one side, Porter on the other side, Farrier and Foote, the inside linebackers when they line up in that 3-4. 3rd down and 1 at the 29-yard line. Anderson is the feature back. Here is Plummer rolling right. Plummer looking to throw. He does. Throws downfield. A leaping catch made by Smith across the 40 for a first down. He and Polamalu leaping for that pass thrown by Plummer. Smith got to it. 32-yard pass play. And one of the few big plays this afternoon for the Broncos.
Lucky for the Broncos here because Jake Plummer could have easily run for the first down and elected to throw it kind of just right down the field. And Troy Polamalu was there. Smith was also had Foote underneath him. I mean, this was a great play by Rod Smith.
And a 1st and 10 for the Broncos at the Steeler 39-yard line. Play action. Plummer looks to throw. He does. He completes at the 30-yard line to the tight end, Jed Putzier. And Denver looking to get something going. That's good for 9. Farrier and Higgins combined to make the stop. Brings up a 2nd and 1 at the Steeler 30-yard line.
You know, interesting, Marv. Jake Plummer almost fumbled that snap right there. They're just not in sync. If it were me, I'd say get in a 2-minute, offense. You go no huddle. Get right to the line of scrimmage and see if you could develop some rhythm that every quarterback wants to be in. So Jake's a little bit lucky on the last 2 plays.
Now Todd DeVos puts wide left side. Anderson in the backfield. And a timeout is called by the Broncos.
See, I mean, just disjointed. You don't want to waste timeouts in this situation. And obviously Mike Shanahan saw something wrong. Maybe it was a formation, but they are just not sharp on offense.
When we come back, Denver looking at a 2nd and 1 at the Pittsburgh 30-yard line. Steelers 24, Broncos 3. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
I thought you were done with our taxes.
I am, but now TurboTax can help us get even more from our tax refund.
Really?
Yeah, with TurboTax we can use all or part of our refund for gift cards with a bonus of 10%, 20%, or more at over 50 major retailers.
Wow.
We can get more from the places where we'd spend our money anyway.
A bonus on top of our refund? I'm thinking power tools.
Or some new shoes.
DVD player.
Dinner out.
Barbecue grill.
New laptop.
Vacation.
Vacation.
Fees apply. Learn more at TurboTax.com.
Chili Hotline.
I met a lady who loves country.
And you love classical?
Right.
Well, pick up a box of Stag Country brand chili. Mild chili with sweet bell peppers. You'll love it. And everything country.
What about her?
Stag Classic chili with 2 kinds of beans.
Music to my ears.
And taste buds. Chili Hotline.
My boss thinks I don't work hard enough.
Fix her some Stag Rio Blanco chicken chili with white beans and serve it over rice.
Sounds delicious, but it's not my job.
She'll know it's time well spent. You see, at Stag, chili is all they do.
I love it.
Stag chili is the chili lovers love.
Hey, it's me, Regis Philbin. When you were a kid, you loved the fun side of Welch's grape juice. You know, the big grape taste, the purple mustache? Well, it turns out there's a surprising side to Welch's, too, because studies have shown that Welch's 100% grape juice is actually good for your heart. Made from deep purple Concord grapes with no added sugar, Welch's is packed with natural antioxidants, twice the antioxidant power of orange juice. So grab a glass of Welch's 100% grape juice, the most delicious thing you can do for your heart.
It's the NFL playoffs. One chance, one shot, one road. Follow the road all the way to Super Bowl 40 at SuperBowl.com. Now back to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NFL playoffs.
Back to Denver, 2nd and 1 for the Broncos at the Pittsburgh 30-yard line. Here's Plummer throwing for the end zone. Leaping catch made. Touchdown. Touchdown Denver. Ashley Lallee with a beautiful grab in front of the free safety, Chris Hope. And this crowd is back into it. First catch of the day for Lallee. 30-yard touchdown pass. And the Steelers now lead it 24-9.
Ashley Lallee lined up on the right side, runs a deep post all the way across the field. If Jake Plummer just throws it to the left corner of the end zone, it's an easy completion, but because he underthrows it and throws it down the middle of the field, Lallee's got to go up and make a fantastic catch over Hope, which is exactly what he did.
Now here's Jason Elam for the point after. Ball placed down, the kick is up. It is good. Ashley Lallee, Denver's big play receiver, on a 30-yard reception for the touchdown. And with that touchdown, Remax makes another donation to the Children's Miracle Network. Remax, nobody sells more real estate than Remax. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers 24, the Denver Broncos 10. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
Clarence Young, a scientist at GlaxoSmithKline, on how far he's willing to go.
Finding a new antibiotic is about as easy as catching one particular snowflake. It takes about 15 years to find one that works. Then, as soon as the bacteria develop resistance, we're right back where we started. But everyone benefits from antibiotics, so the war never stops. At GSK, quitting's just not an option.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines, tomorrow's miracles.
Every night he runs 5 miles through the neighborhood, the park, and back on a side street. He wears reflective gear hoping you'll see him. But will you? Regular headlights don't just burn out, they dim over time. Silver Star High Performance headlights give you the whitest, brightest halogen light, helping to make nighttime driving safer. So upgrade to a pair of Silver Star headlights. Visit your nearest auto parts store and ask for Silver Star High Performance headlights from Sylvania. See the world in a new light.
Mitsubishi's Thrill Radio, the football edition. The new Mitsubishi Raider is the perfect pickup truck for a football coach. He gets his choice of 2, 4, or all-wheel drive. See, coaches like to make personnel decisions. He can get Sirius satellite radio to keep up on the league. And on real cold days, he could call in the plays from the comfort of his Raider and its available Bluetooth wireless phone interface. See? Perfect. The new Mitsubishi Raider. It's a football kind of pickup.
Mitsubishi, driven to thrill. Visit MitsubishiCars.com for more details.
Well, this crowd all charged up after the Plummer to the lead touchdown pass. Once again, our Campbell's Chunky Trivia question, named the only team to appear in more championship games than the 13 by these Pittsburgh Steelers since the merger. Boomer, hold that thought as we await the kickoff. Coakley and Taylor are back. Sauerbrun's kick, angle to the far side. It's short. Played by Taylor at the 10. He's to the 15, 20. Picks up a blocker. Makes his way to the 30-yard line. He's taken out of bounds by Sam Brandon. A 20-yard return. Boomer, you want to take a shot at the question?
I think it's the Dallas Cowboys.
So disappointing when you continue to get these correctly.
Sorry to disappoint
How many
you,
times?
Mark. Oh, God, I don't know about 14 times? 14 or 15?
I feel you're getting help. 14 is correct.
Is it really?
Yes. Don't do that. Steelers start out from their 29-yard line. Bettis in the backfield. 1st and 10 from their 29. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Here's Roethlisberger back to throw. He pumps and he throws deep down the left side. It's caught. Beautiful catch. Made it the near side. Inside the 45. It's made by Cedric Wilson. He's been the favorite target of Roethlisberger this afternoon. That's good for 29. And again, Wilson working on Dominic Foxworth, the rookie from Maryland.
Well, 2 things I love here, Marv. I'm sorry about that as you're getting ready to read the Campbell's Chunky Soup deal here, but I love the aggressiveness of Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator of Pittsburgh Steelers. Come out and throw the football. And again, they pick up the blitz as Jerome Bettis hits John Lynch right in the teeth to keep him away from Ben Roethlisberger.
Steelers first down at the Denver 41-yard line. And here's the handoff. Bettis off the right side, turning ahead. And a short pickup. Ian Gold, the weak side linebacker, making the tackle as Bettis goes for 3. Stay tuned for Campbell's Chunky Trivia all season long, brought to you by new Campbell's Chunky Fajita Soups. Hearty soups that fill you up right. Yes, you cut me off.
Sorry about that.
Finishing Campbell's, and we are surrounded by major executives from Campbell's here in the broadcast booth.
I love Campbell's, but that was a huge play. And you know, I've only gotten 1 question wrong all year long, by the way.
You have been very good. Some help along the way, perhaps. Second down play. Here's Bettis off the handoff, driving off the right side. Gets inside the 35, but a penalty flag down. It is on the right tackle, Max Starks.
All right, the Denver offense woke up that last series. Okay, they got a break because they got the ball on the 20-yard line as opposed to the 3-yard line after the punt from Gardocki. So they made something happen. So now it's up to this Denver defense, which really hasn't done much all day long. They have got to create a turnover. They have got to give their offense good field position. You know, it's only 2 touchdowns. That's not insurmountable by any stretch. But the defense has got to make plays. In situations like this, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, this is your opportunity.
Roethlisberger now looking at a 2nd and 17. At midfield, Willie Parker returns to the backfield. Long count, Roethlisberger takes. He's back to throw. He guns it. A diving catch made inside the 35 by that man again, Cedric Wilson, and he does it in front of Dominic Foxworth, the right corner. This is good for 15. And how about Cedric Wilson in his first year as a Steeler, coming over from the 49ers, 5-year man out of Tennessee. That's his 5th catch, 92 yards, including a touchdown catch. It is short of a first down. It'll be a 3rd down and 2 at the Denver 33 as we come up on a minute remaining in the 3rd. Haynes in the backfield. Roethlisberger works out of the gun, swings it out. Pass handled by Antoine Randall L, and he runs for the first down. Gets inside the 30 to the 25-yard line. Stopped by Al Wilson. That's good for 8. And a Pittsburgh first down.
And at the end of the day, this is the story of this game. Pittsburgh able to overcome 2nd and long, 3rd and longs to get themselves in the first down situation. Here's the thing that Dominic Foxworth is having trouble with. The linebackers for the Denver Broncos are not getting great width underneath those wide receivers of the Pittsburgh Steelers, giving Ben Roethlisberger clear vision and able to throw those comebacks in front of Dominic Foxworth.
Bettis returns to the backfield, first down at the Denver 25-yard line. Here's the handoff to Bettis, straight ahead, and gets a yard. Michael Myers able to close the hole as time has run down in this 3rd quarter. The numbers on Roethlisberger, 20 of 26, 268 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's the end of 3. Pittsburgh 24, Denver 10 in this AFC championship game. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
It's out there, invisible, but out there, in people coughing and sneezing around you, ready for the opportunity to lodge itself inside you. You don't know it, but within a couple of days you are hit with symptoms like fever, cough, and headache. It might be the flu. Now what do?
You can talk to your doctor about Tamiflu, oseltamivir phosphate. Tamiflu is an anti-flu pill available for the treatment of influenza and is available only by prescription. Because it attacks the influenza virus and stops it from spreading inside your body, Tamiflu can help shorten the duration of flu symptoms by 1.3 days or 30%. For Tamiflu to be effective, it's important to see your doctor within the first 2 days of symptom onset. This flu season, see what Tamiflu can do for you. Think flu, think Tamiflu. 1 out of 10 may experience mild to moderate nausea or vomiting. Fewer may experience bronchitis, vertigo, or sleeplessness. Tamiflu is available by prescription only and is for the treatment of influenza in patients aged 1 year and older. Tamiflu is not a substitute for a flu shot. Speak to your doctor or visit Tamiflu.com to find out more information or call 877-787-6243. See our ad in Health Magazine.
Everyone in the car, the Wallace family vacation is underway.
Yay!
We're here.
We just drove to the curb, Dad.
Gas is expensive, son, so we'll have to make do. Oh, look, a monument.
That's our mailbox. I don't understand.
You're awful, Frank. I'm taking the kids inside.
Well, you'll have to walk.
To save on gas, just use Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver and extend your mileage by an average of 2.3%. Drive more, fill up less with Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver.
Hello, I'm Boomer Esiason. Every year, thousands of business people use football cliches when they shouldn't, and that really bothers me. Using phrases like throw a bomb or sudden death overtime at the office can alarm colleagues unnecessarily. Next time, try saying, let's go with FedEx. You look smart when your packages get there, and you'll never be escorted out of the building by security. Go to FedExFootball.com to learn more about the FedEx Air and Ground Awards. FedEx. Remember, football, not goofball. Now, welcome back to Invesco Field at Mile High as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. The Steelers leading the Broncos 24-10, 2nd and 9 on the 24 for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And Marv, you finally made it back. I was ready to start to some play-by-play.
I was looking forward to that myself.
You know, the word is my buddy Chris Collinsworth is going to be the play-by-play guy for NBC. If he could do it, I could do it.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right.
On 2nd down and 9 at the 24-yard line. Here is the handoff to Bettis. Finds a hole on the right. Breaks tackles. Gets inside the 20-yard line.
Well, he broke that tackle that was attempted by Champ Bailey. Now, if you're Champ Bailey and you see Jerome Bettis steamrolling right at you, do you think you want to make that tackle? I don't think so. How about the last 4 playoff games for the Denver defense? Peyton Manning, 377 yards. Peyton Manning, 458 yards. Tom Brady, 341 yards. And tonight, Roethlisberger already at 268 yards.
7 yards on that carry. 3rd down and 2 at the Denver 17-yard line. Roethlisberger on play action. Couldn't find anybody, and he's taken down back at the 25. Trevor Price, DJ Williams able to get the wraps on Roethlisberger. That's the first sack of the game for the Broncos.
And it's a bad sack for Roethlisberger. You cannot take a sack down in here around your own 20-yard line. You have to throw the ball away. He was trying to throw a screen pattern out of the backfield to Antoine Randall, but John Lynch had it correctly covered, and now you're asking your field goal kicker to go back about 7 yards farther.
This will be a 42-yard attempt with Jeff Reed angled to the left, hit from 47 at the start of the first quarter. Signals called. Here's the snap. Ball placed down the kick by Reed. It is up, and it is good. So Reed having a pretty fine day, 47 and 42.
You know, Mike Vanderjagt wouldn't have made that. But then again, he would have went on David Letterman and joked about it.
What is this with you here in the fourth quarter?
Kick that guy off the Colts, man. Get him out of there. Missed a field goal like 46 yards in the biggest game of the Colts in Indianapolis, and then you go on Letterman and make fun of it? I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent. I'm sorry.
And you're knocking him for good. He didn't make. Did you see the appearance? He didn't make fun of it.
I saw it.
He didn't make
had no
fun of
business.
it.
He should be in Fiji right now. He should not be on David Letterman talking about how the Pittsburgh Steelers fans all blew so that ball went to Bloomington as opposed to in between the uprights.
We have an angry man right here with that field goal. Barbasol makes another donation to the Boomer Esiason Foundation dedicated to beating cystic fibrosis. Barbasol, shaving cream and gel, better by Barbasol. Minute and a half gone by in the fourth. Steelers now lead the Broncos 27-10. This is Westwood One's coverage of the National Football League.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you sure? If you want to host the ultimate Super Bowl party, call Wing Zone now at 257-5949. Did you hear me? Wing Zone, 257-5949. Ask about their catering specials. Special number 1, 100 wings or 50 chicken fingers, $59.99. Special number 2, 100 wings and 50 chicken fingers, $129.99. Special number 3, 200 wings or 100 chicken fingers, $169.99. Specials include celery, dressing, and wedge fries. Serve 10 to 30 people with a special that's right for your party. Wing Zone, delivered hot and fresh to your party. Call 257-5949 now.
If you're wild about your hair, stop in at the #1 full-service salon in Ormond Beach, Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road. You can get a full set of pink and white acrylics for just $35. Low light and highlight special with Greg for $75. A manicure and pedicure, $75 for both. Call 673-9898 for an appointment. That's 673-9898. Wild Strands in the Tomoka Plaza, 717 South Nova Road.
Here's the kickoff by Jeff Reed. Comes up short. Adams plays it at the 10. Straight ahead. Angles left to the 20. Out to the 30. Breaks the tackle. He's to the 40. Beats the kicker to the Steeler territory. 45-yard line. And he's brought down a 55-yard return. And Bryant McFadden was able to make the tackle.
And this is the exact type of thing you need if you're the Broncos. Now, that last offensive series by the Steelers was most impressive. They stayed aggressive. They got a field goal out of it, and they put themselves ahead by 17 points. And now the Broncos have field position here because of a great special teams play. Jake Plummer's got to get a touchdown on this series.
And Denver, first down at the Pittsburgh 43. Plummer's back to throw. Throws the middle, and it's intercepted. It is picked off at the 30 by Larry Foote. Cuts to the left to the 40 and taken down. Larry Foote, who did not have an interception during the regular season, the man who replaced Kendrell Bell at right inside linebacker, comes up with the pick, goes for 18 on the return, and it's another Denver turnover, second interception thrown by Plummer.
Well, you know, this is the story of the game again. You know, it's about the mistakes that Jake Plummer was going to make or he was not going to make, and he's fumbled once tonight, and he's thrown 2 just awful interceptions. Awful. I can't tell you how bad this particular one was. He threw it right down the middle of the field, Foote read it the whole way. Just a terrible decision by Jake Plummer.
So the Steelers take over. First and 10 from their 42-yard line, and the handoff goes to Bettis. Tries the right side, picks up 3 on the play. Gerard Warren makes the tackle. 13 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Steelers have a 27-10 lead, and Boomer, Pittsburgh has had the football for 31 minutes. Denver for 15.
And know this part of the game right now, Bill Cowher will tell Ben Roethlisberger, take the play clock all the way down underneath 5 seconds. We're going to hand it off. We're just going to try to eat up the clock as best we can and get out of here and get on our way to Detroit.
They line up in the I formation. The fullback Kreider in front of Bettis. And again the give to Bettis, spinning, and he is dropped back behind the line. Lost the yard on the play, hit by Michael Myers. Let's check in with John Dockery.
And you know, Marv, there were some people that were saying, well, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers will run out of juice. After all, they've been on the road for 3 tough games. Cincinnati, Indy, and now here in Denver. No sign of that whatsoever, as you imagine. There was oxygen on the sidelines. We are a mile high. Not one Pittsburgh Steeler took it, and they are just charged and on a roll. As Bill Cowher said before the game, we're focused, we're passionate, we're intense.
It's a 3rd and 8 at the 44-yard line. Empty backfield, Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. He takes the snap, he throws, and it is incomplete. It's over the head of Cedric Wilson, who felt that there should have been pass interference on Dominique Foxworth, but no flag is thrown.
Well, you know, the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, how about this? Their average time of possession in the fourth quarter over their last 6 games, all games that they've won, is 10 minutes and 12 seconds. They just pound you to death, and that's who they are. I mean, they get up on you, and their defense makes plays like Larry Foote made on the previous series for Denver, and they are just so difficult to come from behind and beat them.
It's a Pittsburgh team that has won its last 6, including the first 2 In the playoffs, Gardocki back to punt. Deep man is Adams. And it's high end over end. Fair catch called for. Adams takes it back at the 15. 41-yard punt. And so the Denver Broncos will start out from their 15-yard line with 11:39 remaining in this fourth quarter. Break in the action brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG Insurance, Loans, Retirement. It's the Steelers 27, Broncos 10. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
Win something golf's great legends haven't. A playing lesson with Hank Haney at Cog Hill Golf Club. Enter the Cialis Western Open Sweepstakes for a chance to win a grand prize trip for two to the 2006 Cialis Western Open in Chicago, including a lesson with Hank, air travel, hotel, and more. Are you ready to win? Get official rules and enter for a chance to win the Cialis Tadalafil Western Open Sweepstakes at Cialis.com/golf. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 18 and older. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends June 23, 2006.
Log on to Southwest.com for great low-fare specials. Fly Southwest Airlines for just $49 to $159 one way with a 21-day advance purchase by January 23rd. Only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Federal tax of $3.30 per takeoff and landing. Airport taxes of up to $9 and federal September 11 security fee of up to $5 not included. Fares may vary by destination and day of travel. Published service only. Blackout dates apply to Florida service. Some flights operated by ATA Airlines. Orange County, California excluded. Seats limited. Other restrictions apply.
Don't forget, there's still time for you to make plans and spend an unforgettable week in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii with the NFL All-Stars on February 12th, 2006. The best players in the NFL compete in the league's annual Pro Bowl. Rosters are set, and so are we. And we all know who's making the trip. I'll be there. Marv won't, so you might want to come this year because it's going to be a lot of fun. So why don't you make that trip and say aloha to all the festivities surrounding the Pro Bowl? To book your All-Star Week travel package, please call our friends over at Pleasant Holidays at 1-800-5-HAWAII. That's music to my ears, 1-800-5-HAWAII.
Sounds great. Previous commitments, Boomer, as you know. Play action as Plummer is back to throw. He's in trouble. Running right, cannot find anyone. Gets out to the 20 and then goes down to the 23-yard line, and a flag comes flying. Hoke and Foot combined to make the tackle. It's an 8-yard pickup.
I think this is going to be holding in the secondary on Deshae Townsend of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So an automatic first down. So you actually lose yards, but you gain it down back.
Holding. Defense. Number 26. 5-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down.
You know, this is the type of thing that Pittsburgh will do to you. They will come after you. They will be relentless. Dick LeBeau is not going to back off. And they love this situation where the opposing team has got to throw the football. Remember, this is the situation that Peyton Manning found himself in last week when Troy Polamalu made that great interception that for some reason was overturned by Pete Morelli, the referee.
First and 10 now, the Denver 28. They're lined up in the I. Here's play action by Plummer. He's in trouble, spins away, running to his left, looks downfield, can't find anybody, and then shovels it off to Anderson. Anderson gets out across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, well, this is run for your life, Ben Gazzara. I'll tell you, he was running all over the place. He finds Anderson, and actually Plummer gets hurt after he takes a shot as he shoveled it off to Anderson.
Man downfield. Offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Illegal man downfield. The center, Tom Nallen, is called.
It looks like Plummer hit the back of his right hand, but the reason I was laughing at the end of this play wasn't because of Plummer running all over the place. He did a good job of avoiding the rush. Was Troy Polamalu comes flying in out of nowhere and dives over the blockers to try to make the tackle. He is completely relentless. I mean, he is all over the place. He is the prototypical Pittsburgh defensive player.
Troy Polamalu making the Pro Bowl for a second straight season in his third year out of University of Southern Cal. First and 15 back at the 23-yard line. Again, Plummer back to throw, rolling right, and throws, and it's dropped. Pass is dropped by Cecil Sapp. Came out of the backfield. He's the backup fullback. So So it brings up a 2nd and 15 at the 23. Looking for great jeans at a great value. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Built strong, built comfortable, built right. Go to Wrangler.com to find out more. Wrangler real comfortable jeans. Here are the Broncos to the line, led by Tom Nalen. Tatum Bell now in the backfield, but Plummer is back to throw again. Plummer in trouble, and now swings it out. He has Bell. Bell cuts to the 25. He broke a tackle, able to make a move on Polamalu, and then gets to the 30-yard line where he's hit down by Larry Foote, so he got 8 yards out of that play.
I mean, there's something you don't see very often. That's Troy Polamalu actually missing a tackle. Bell does a nice job of receiving this ball right around the line of scrimmage. Straight arms Polamalu off of him, but Larry Foote, as sure a tackler as there is on the Pittsburgh Steelers, was there to clean up.
3rd and 7 at the 31. The winner here today goes to the Super Bowl, facing the winner of the NFC title game, which is coming up next. Here's Plummer looking to throw. He unloads deep down the right side. It is caught by Lee. Was he inbounds? That's the question. Did he have possession? It is caught deep down the right side, down at the 31-yard line, as Ike Taylor and Ashley Lee battled for it. And the ruling on the field is that he was inbounds.
You know, when Jake Plummer threw this ball, Marv, I thought it was going to be picked off because Ike Taylor had great position. But Lee actually goes up and gets the ball at its highest point. He pushes off just a little bit against Ike Taylor. The referee does not call it, but what a nice play by Ashley Lee.
It's a 38-yard pass play and a first down for the Broncos at the Pittsburgh 31. Here's Plummer back to throw. Again, able to scramble away from traffic, and then fires one that is broken up. Down at the 10, but a flag is down. Pass intended for Charlie Adams at the 10-yard line. Took a hit from behind from the left corner, Ike Taylor, and pass interference will be called.
And I got to tell you, Jake Plummer did a Houdini job on Joey Porter, who had him in the backfield, and I mean completely had him knocked down. But this is going to be called on Ike Taylor, so 2 back-to-back plays, not too well for the defensive back from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And a second flag has been thrown.
I don't know if this is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct or somebody's going to be reacting to it. Could be a personal foul as well.
2 fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Half play. Defense. Number 50. That penalty is high. Pass interference. Defense.
Well, there you have it, the unsportsmanlike conduct. You cannot take your helmet off when you're on the field. But I'll tell you what, Jake Plummer does a Houdini job against Joey Porter, who has him right between the 1 and 6 on his jersey, kind of flings him off of him, and then gathers himself and then throws the ball down the left-hand side, and Taylor got there just before the ball arrived. I thought it was a good call by the official.
The unsportsmanlike conduct was called on Larry Foote.
Doesn't really mean anything.
Right, because the pass interference was accepted, and it sets up a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Plummer now 14 of 23, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, but he's been picked off twice.
Foul on the defense. Only 1 foul is accepted.
What the official is saying right there, Terry McCauley, is saying by rule, since there were multiple fouls on the defense, only 1 foul is assessed. That's why the pass interference overrules the unsportsmanlike conduct. And the reason that he actually announced that to the fans was because Mike Shanahan wanted both penalties.
So the Broncos in the Heinz red zone. They're to the line. 1st and goal at the 9. Mike Anderson is the feature running back. Plummer ducks in under. And here's the handoff. Anderson breaks to the outside, and he's tackled down at the 8, but a flag comes in.
I think it's going to be holding.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense.
It is on Aaron Smith for grabbing the face mask of Mike Anderson.
Well, I thought that was going to be holding because it looked to me like Aaron Smith got thrown to the ground. We'll take a look at it from the ground level replay. And yes, he does grab it. Clearly does grab it. It was a very good call by Terry McCauley. And now all of a sudden it gets a little bit interesting here as the Broncos take over on the 4-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It'll be a 1st and goal at the 4. Aaron Smith, another Colorado product, attended Northern Colorado called for that face mask. First and goal at the 4-yard line, and there's movement on the line, and flags come flying.
Oh, here we go. Now, this is almost reminiscent of that play last week in which Indianapolis and Pittsburgh kind of came together, and there was a no call. You remember that one?
False start. Offense. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that is on the left tackle, Matt Lepsis. Yeah, that was one of the more curious calls. That's as if to say nothing happened,
but something did happen. But in this particular case, Hemo von Oelhoffen actually went across the line and engaged Lepsis. So they had no choice but to actually call a penalty here in Denver, which is exactly what they did.
So it's on the Broncos, sets it back to a first and goal at the 9-yard line. Here's Plummer rolling right. Plummer looking end zone. Can't find anybody. He'll run. He's to the 5. He's to the 4. Ducks in under and is knocked out of bounds at the 3 by Casey Hampton, the nose tackle, along with the outside linebacker Clark Hagan. So he runs it for 5. And they spot it just outside the 3-yard line. A second and goal down at the 3 as we come up on 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Steelers 27 and the Broncos 10. The winner here today heads to Detroit in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, facing the winner of the NFC title game between Carolina and Seattle. That is coming up next. Here's Plummer with the give. Anderson drives off the left side. He's to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown! Mike Anderson for the Broncos. He goes for 3 on the play and the score, and the Broncos are right back in it.
So it's been a hard day for Mike Anderson. 9 rushes, 36 yards. There has not been a lot of room. Now, he's made a couple big plays on 4th and 1. Second effort, got the first down. And this one, he was hit right at the line of scrimmage. Fought, kept his legs moving. Troy Polamalu trying to rip the ball out. He extends the ball over the goal line. And a great effort by Mike Anderson.
Now the try for the point after. Mason Elam with the kick. It is up. It is good. And with that touchdown, Remax makes another donation to the Children's Miracle Network. Remax. Nobody sells more real estate than Remax. Pittsburgh 27 and Denver 17. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
To prove Consort Hair Care for Men has everything you need to keep your hair looking good no matter what, we're testing it on sportscaster Dan Patrick.
Wow, how are you going to prove that?
By telling an entire pro baseball team that Dan Patrick thinks they're overpaid little leaguers. There you have it. He's beat to a pulp, but his hair looks great. Proof that Consort, never stiff, never sticky, keeps hair looking good no matter what your man day throws at you.
Consort for Men. Dan tested, man approved.
So who do you think we should hire to sell our home?
Well, Tim and Kate like their agent a lot. They said he was practically a member of the family.
Well, that's because it took them so long to sell their house.
What do you suggest? The phone book?
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Finding the right agent shouldn't be this hard. At RE/MAX.com, you can search the industry's top sales force for the agent who's just right for you. Visit RE/MAX.com today. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Outstanding agents. Outstanding results. Each office independently owned and operated.
A focus group of contractors somewhere in Dallas.
Would this technology make you leave your corded tools in the truck more often?
Definitely. I would never use them. I think they stay in the garage.
Time for a garage sale. The revolutionary V28 line of cordless tools from Milwaukee. 28 volts of lithium-ion power and up to twice the runtime of an 18-volt at the same weight. Take a test drive at v28power.com. Move to a higher power.
Today's attendance here in Denver is 76,775. That's an Invesco Field at Mile High record. Brought to you by StubHub.com, where fans and buy and sell tickets. StubHub.com and My Foundation have partnered to help kids with cystic fibrosis. Every time you buy or sell football tickets this season, StubHub will donate money to My Foundation. So please visit StubHub.com today.
Todd Sauerbrunn will kick it off to the combination of Cedric Wilson and Ricardo Coakley. Here comes Sauerbrunn. And the kick bouncing down at the 15-yard line and carries out of bounds, so they'll bring it out to the 40.
That's awful. Chris Brown did the same thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers after they scored. Momentum is flying here. You want to see if you can force a turnover, maybe on a run back. at least pin them inside their own 20, and now you're giving them the ball at the 40-yard line. That is a huge mistake by Sauerbrunn. And you know, Marv, 7:52, how big, with 7:52 left, how big was that field goal that the Steelers got 2 series ago to push their point total to 27? So now, again, they cannot be too conservative. They've got to continue to stay with their game plan.
Denver has outscored Pittsburgh 14-3 thus far in the second half. Steelers start out from the 40. They have Bettis and Kreider in the backfield. They line up in a slot right formation. Roethlisberger back to throw. Roethlisberger throws, and it's almost intercepted. He overthrew. Pass intended for Hines Ward, and John Lynch had a clear shot at that pass, but could not hold on.
Well, I love the pass call. I have no problem with that. It's just a little bit inaccurate on the part of Ben Roethlisberger. But now, why the NFL games are so great, because in the fourth quarter, the visiting team is winning. The fans are into it. The stress levels are high on both sides of the field, and the guy who thinks clearly and makes the plays, that's the team that's going to win.
2nd and 10 at the 40. Roethlisberger with the handoff on the draw. Bettis straight ahead, and a short pickup. Al Wilson able to cut him off. Let's check in with John Dockery. Don?
You know, Mark, this reminds me of last week when I was in Indianapolis. I mean, the Steelers outplayed the Colts throughout the whole game, and you know what happened in the last 6 minutes. The Colts almost came back to tie. They missed the field goal at the end. This has shades of that game last week.
Well, you know, one difference is that game had Peyton Manning. This one has Jake Plummer. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, 3rd and 9 at the 41 after that 1-yard pickup by Bettis. Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. He takes the snap. He steps up, throws, is caught at the 45 by the tight end Heath Miller, but he's tripped up. He is short of a first down. Soft pass thrown by Roethlisberger. Went for about 7 on the play. Ekuban making the tackle. And a 4th down and 2 for Pittsburgh. So the punting unit will come on.
Great job by the Denver defense. Now, as I was saying, this game has, Jake Plummer instead of Peyton Manning. This game also has Jason Elam as opposed to Mike Vanderjagt. So you never say never, and Jake Plummer is a guy that has a history of coming back in the 4th period.
Bad broadcast for Mike Vanderjagt. You are taking shots left and right.
I felt sorry for him, but when I saw him on Letterman,
All right, here's Gardocki taking the snap. Adams back deep. It's a short punt, and Adams comes up, makes the fair catch at the 19-yard line, and that's where Denver will put it into play. 34-yard punt, breaking the action. Brought to you by AIG. For 85 years, we've helped secure families' futures. AIG, insurance, loans, retirement. 6:12 remaining in the 4th quarter. Steelers 27, Broncos 17. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Ever told anyone you needed a vacation from your vacation? Well, there's a word for vacations that stress you out. Work. And at Amtrak, we don't think any trip should be work. So we do it all. We do the driving to over 500 destinations. We'll even make up a bed for you on our trains with sleeping accommodations. So all you have to do is kick back, take in the scenery, a good book, or just the inside of your eyelids. To book, call 1-800-USA-RAIL or visit Amtrak.com. Fares, routes, and schedules subject to change without notice. Blackout dates and restrictions apply.
Hey, it's me, Regis Philbin. People always ask me, what keeps me going? You know what I say? I have purple power. Yeah, I try to drink a glass of Welch's Purple 100% grape juice every day because Welch's is packed with deep purple, antioxidant-rich Concord grapes with no added sugar. So it doesn't just taste good, it's actually good for your heart. In fact, Welch's has twice the natural antioxidant power of orange juice. So grab a glass of Welch's and add a little purple power to your life. Welch's 100% grape juice, the most delicious thing you could do for your heart.
Mitsubishi presents thrilling finishes in football history, brought to you by the all-new Mitsubishi Raider, a football kind of pickup. December 23rd, 1972. AFC playoffs between Pittsburgh and Oakland. The Steelers trailed the Raiders by 1 with just seconds remaining. Terry Bradshaw threw a desperation pass to Frenchie Fuqua, but it somehow ricocheted into teammate Franco Harris's arms, who then rumbled 42 yards down the sidelines for the game-winning score. Simply known as the Immaculate Reception, it's one of the most thrilling finishes in football history. Brought to you by Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
Back in Denver, Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, and John Dockery. It's in the hands of Jake Plummer. Let's see what he can do on this drive. The Broncos start out from the 20. They're down by 10. The numbers on Plummer, 14 of 23, 204 yards. Threw a touchdown, picked off twice And here are the Broncos to the line. Anderson in the backfield. He's the lone deep back. And Plummer rolling right, being chased. Look out, gets it away, and it is incomplete. Pass thrown too high for the tight end. Footsier brings up a 2nd down and 10.
And I will tell you that Jake Plummer has not been sharp at all throughout this game. And if it had not been for a couple of huge plays by Ashley Lilly, who's made some wonderful catches in this game, this game would be a runaway by the Steelers. But Ashley Lilly, who has 2 catches for 68 yards, one of those went for a touchdown, has really been the playmaker that they have got to get the ball to some more here.
2nd and 10 at the 20. Plummer back to throw. Plummer throws. It's on target. He has Smith out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. He's tackled by Chris Hope, the free safety. That's a 7-yard advance. Clock running. We're just under 6 to play in this 4th quarter. It's a 3rd down and 3 at the 27.
And why isn't Denver in their no-huddle offense? Now, remember, they already blew 1 timeout in this half, so they only have 2 left. And I think it's just, I can't explain why they would go back to the huddle and waste 25 seconds to snap the ball.
Now here they are to the line. Smith flank wide left side. Anderson to the backfield. Plummer takes. Back to throw. He's in trouble. He's spun around, and he's taken down back of the 20. A flag also is thrown. So Plummer is sacked for the 2nd time, but there is a penalty marker down.
Number 78.
And Denver's got no choice but to punt it here. I can't imagine that they would go for it on 4th and what do you think, about 10 maybe? Close to 10. So I can't believe that Denver's going to elect to go for it. They are. I don't think that you have to. I think you can punt, play defense, and use your timeouts. But this is utter desperation, I think, early for Denver.
And the holding call on the left tackle, Matt Lepsis, setting it to that 4th and 10 back at their 20-yard line with 5:12 remaining in the 4th.
This has got disaster written all over it.
Anderson in the backfield. Plummer ducks in under. And Plummer takes. Back to throw, getting the protection here. And then taken. No, he's able to slip away. And now the ball is stripped. The ball is loose. Did you say disaster?
I did say disaster. I don't know what they're thinking about.
It will be Pittsburgh ball. They did recover the fumble, but they would have taken over on downs.
You know, I mean, with 5 minutes to go in the game, you still have 2 timeouts. There's still enough time, I think, if your defense can stop the Steelers and you use your 2 timeouts. I think that was panic by the Broncos, but that basically sealed the fate of the Broncos right there.
The strip by Brett Kiesel, 4-year player out of Brigham Young, coming up from left defensive end. And now Pittsburgh will take over. Just under 5 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Crowd beginning to file out here at Invesco Field at Mile High. Steelers now first down at the Denver 17-yard line. Bettis in the backfield with Kreider. Roethlisberger ducks in under. Signals called. Here's the pitch. Taken by Bettis, running to his left. Able to bounce his way inside the 15-yard line. Nice run by Bettis. Goes for 6 on the play. Met by Ecubon. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 4 at the Bronco 11-yard line. A reminder, stay tuned for the Mitsubishi postgame report. We'll have the Lamar Hunt Trophy presentation. And we'll hear from some of the players downstairs, brought to you by Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
And now Denver's using their timeouts, and they could have punted and did the same thing on the other side of the 50 as opposed to now being on their own 11-yard line. I just don't understand why Mike Shanahan would have done what he did there. And he's one of the best coaches in football, but I think this was really a huge error on his part to elect to go for it on 4th down. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me, Mark, but it's all about the variables that are going on in the game. And one of those variables is field position combined with time, combined with how your defense is playing. I thought their defense has actually played very well the second half. So that would be, would make me at least inclined to punt it to them to see if my defense can hold them down.
And it tells us that Mike Shanahan had no confidence in the defense getting the ball back.
Well, I'd have more confidence in the defense than I would in Jake Plummer.
2nd and 4. Down at the 11. Bettis remains in the backfield, takes the handoff, finds a hole on the right, drives forward, And he's right at the marker met by Sam Brendan. Looks like he has a first down. Right here, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Westwood 1, your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 40.
Every Wednesday, United Way Day, Big Talk with Big John, W-E-L-E, Ormond Beach, Florida.
Well, Jerome Bettis did pick up the first down. It'll be a first and goal at the 7.
I just want to go back to that point about trusting Jake Plummer or trusting your defense. Listen, if you're at your own 40-yard line or 45-yard line and you have reasonable field position with about 5 minutes left to go in the game and 2 timeouts and it's 4th and 10, I could understand that you'd want to go for it in that situation because even if you turn it over, the Steelers still have to drive it to get themselves in field position. But to elect to go for it deep in your own zone is where Denver was. I think it's an error. There's no other way to say it.
Here are the Steelers to the line. Denver just used their final timeout. Bettis remains in the backfield. Bettis with the fullback, Kreider. Roethlisberger off a long count. Hands to Bettis. Tries the left side. Nowhere to go, and he stopped at the line. Sam Brandon came up to make the tackle. A reminder, we'll be with you 2 weeks from today at Ford Field in Detroit. Super Bowl 40 from the Motor City. Jim Gray will get it going. The pregame at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Super Sunday starts at 4, and Boomer will kick it all off with Super Bowl preview at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Check your local listings for more details. If it's the Super Bowl, it's on Westwood 1. Second and goal now at the 6-yard line. And the Steelers stay with a combination of Kreider and Bettis. We're under 4 to go in this fourth quarter. Handoff to Bettis, drives off the right side and gets to the 5, a yard on the play.
I think Bettis has got 2 hands on that ball right now. You know, this is the area he was in last week in Indianapolis when he fumbled it and Nick Harper took it back. And I'll tell you what, Nick Harper has got to have nightmares about that play because when he looks at the coach's film like I did this week, if he just stays out and runs down the right sideline, this game is being played in Indianapolis, and it's the Denver Broncos visiting the Colts. So it's just a twist of fate, and now it looks like Jerome Bettis is on his way back home to Detroit.
Third and goal just inside the 5-yard line. Here's the play fake. Roethlisberger will run. He drives, and he dives. He's in for the touchdown.
And Marv, what a great play call by Ken Wisenhunt. You know that Denver's going to sell out to try to stop Jerome Bettis, see if they can force a fumble. A play fake to him off the right side, and Roethlisberger boots left. And the reason I know that this was called by Ken Wisenhunt is the left side of the offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers were leading Ben Roethlisberger as he came out. So, well, I'll tell you what, the Pittsburgh Steelers not only outplayed the Denver Broncos, but severely outcoached them as well.
And they will make it 7 straight wins, including the postseason. Here is Reed on for the extra point. Signal's being called. Snap, ball placed now. The kick is up. And it is right through with 2:59 remaining in this fourth quarter. Pittsburgh now leads Denver 34-17. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Everyone in the car, the Wallace family vacation is underway.
Yay!
We're here.
We just drove to the curb, Dad.
Gas is expensive, son, so we'll have to make do. Look, a monument.
That's our mailbox. I don't understand.
You're awful, Frank. I'm taking the kids inside.
Well, you'll have to walk.
To save on gas, just use Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver and extend your mileage by an average of 2.3%. Drive more, fill up less with Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver.
CBSSportsLine.com is the destination for year-round in-depth sports coverage. Outspoken writers, lightning-fast live scores, exclusive video, award-winning fantasy sports, and so much more. Find it all at CBSSportsLine.com. Now back to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL playoffs.
Back in Denver, time for the drive of the game, brought to you by Kia Motors, who invite you to experience Kia's full line of 9 quality cars, SUVs, and minivans. Kia, the power to surprise. Well, with the Steelers up 10-3 back in the second quarter, they controlled the ball for 14 plays, moving 80 yards in 7.5 minutes, and then Jerome Bettis scored from 3 yards out to put the Steelers up 17-3. Right here, Pittsburgh 34 and Denver 17. Adams back deep as Reed gets set to kick it off. Crowd continues to file out here at Invesco, and here is the kick by Reed. It's a short kick, and it is taken by one of the up men. Looks to be Cecil Sapp. Short return, gets to the 35, goes for 10, and the Broncos back to the offense. This is a Denver team that went 13-3 in the regular season, won their last 4, 8 of the last 9. Last Saturday in the divisional playoff, knocked off the Patriots to snap New England's 10-game postseason winning streak. For Denver, their first playoff win since John Elway retired. But a day of disappointment here in the Mile High City. It has been all Pittsburgh. Broncos now from their 35-yard line. Plummer is back to throw. Plummer looking, cannot find anybody. He'll run. He's to the 40 and slides back to the 45-yard line. We'll check in with John Dockery.
You know, Marv, as you watch this game, domination by the Steelers pretty much. Also that they were able to pick up and deal with the blitz of the Denver Broncos and give Ben Roethlisberger some time. But also, I think the maturing of a quarterback. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger did not turn the ball. Well, he didn't throw some balls, and that was key. You know, often he'll throw something up and give the other team a huge opportunity. He didn't do that today. You can see the growth in Ben Roethlisberger.
All right, Doc, now Plummer trying to hit Tatum Bell on a swing pass to the right, comes up short. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 at the 44-yard line with 2:22 remaining in this 4th quarter. Broncos huddled up back at their 35-yard line. Pittsburgh Steelers on their way to making it 7 straight wins after an 11-5 record in the regular season. Here is Tatum Bell off the handoff, running to his right, and has a 1st down. Picked up 5 on the play as we approach the 2-minute warning. Broncos are out of timeouts, and we're down to 2:05, 4, 3, and we have reached the 2-minute warning, brought to you by Liftman. No, they're going to get it off. Plummer swings it out. Just did get it off. He has Bell right at the line of scrimmage. And now we have reached the 2-minute warning, brought to you by LiftMaster from Chamberlain, the world's #1 professionally installed garage door opener, making access easier. Steelers 34, Broncos 17. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood 1.
Ever drive up to your home, push the garage door opener remote, and nothing happens? There's no power. Sound familiar? It happens to thousands of people every month. Now, there's a LiftMaster garage door opener with EverCharge battery backup that opens and closes your garage door even when the power is out. Now that's extra peace of mind. Don't get locked out when the power's out. Have the LiftMaster EverCharge battery backup garage door opener installed today. For an authorized dealer, visit liftmaster.com. LiftMaster from Chamberlain. We're making access easier.
Hey, I just finished our taxes with TurboTax.
Shouldn't we have gone to one of those tax stores?
Well, TurboTax asks me questions just like H&R Block does, and then it puts the answers on all the right forms.
But the tax guy checks it.
TurboTax checks for errors and missed deductions, too.
How do we know it's right?
Honey, calculations are guaranteed accurate. Besides, over 20 million returns were prepared with TurboTax last year alone.
Huh. If it's so good, how much are we getting back?
Take a look.
Wow.
TurboTax. Taxes made easy, taxes done right. Learn more at TurboTax.com or visit a retailer near you.
You're watching the big game and enjoying the bold, fresh roasted taste of Blue Diamond almonds when someone says, hey, pass the almonds.
He drops back, checks left, fires a frozen roast.
Next time, try a handoff. Blue Diamond almonds, the football-shaped football snack.
There's no better snack than fresh roasted Blue Diamond almonds. They score big points on any occasion. That's why Kroger carries Blue Diamond almonds and all your game-watching favorites, like beverages and cold cuts. Stop by Kroger today and pick up a can of Blue Diamond almonds.
Listen up, team. It's a tight game. Let me diagram a play for the second half. Where's my chalk?
I'll use my antacids, Coach. They're really chalky.
They sure are. Try my Rolade soft juice.
These aren't like regular antacids.
Rolade soft chews are chewy, not chalky, with a taste and texture antacid users prefer to Tums EX.
Wow, Rolade soft chews work fast on my heartburn.
And your antacids ain't banned on the blackboard.
Rolade soft chews. Chewy, not chalky. Preference based on consumer test. Use as directed.
All right, Broncos resume 2nd down and 8 at midfield. And Plummer connects at the 40-yard line with Buttsier and has a first down. Picked up 9 on the play. Clock still running. Denver to the line. We're coming up on a minute and a half remaining in the game. Plummer takes the snap. Here's Plummer back to throw. Plummer now rolling to his left. And he throws, goes short range, and it is dropped by Buttsier.
I think he was actually over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball, too.
Offense.
Yep.
Number 16, beyond the line of scrimmage. Loss of down. 2nd down.
And you know, Marv, John Dockery was talking about the growth, the continuing growth of Ben Roethlisberger, and he has been awesome in this playoffs. But I think back to now what Jake Plummer has to deal with as the shadow of John Elway looms larger than ever because of his mistake-filled game today. He's got to go back to the drawing board, and he's going to do so without his offensive coordinator, as I'm sure Gary Kubiak will be named the new head coach of the Houston Texans sometime this week.
Yeah, Plummer asked about it earlier this week. He says he does not even want to deal with that at this point. Here's the draw play. Tatum Bell up the middle, gets inside the 35-yard line, and that clock continues to roll. Minute 15 remaining in the game with Denver out of timeouts. It is a 3rd down and 4. Here's Plummer throwing a bullet. Rod Smith not able to hang on. It is incomplete. It brings up a 4th and 4.
You know, I think back to the Steelers season. You know, they lost a home game to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it was 38-31. And that had to be the low point of their year. And then they basically turned it on from there. And they have not looked back. They've had a healthy Ben Roethlisberger. Pretty much their whole team is healthy. They got Marvell Smith back. Their defense has been playing like a bunch of wild men, and they are going to be very difficult to beat Detroit.
Plummer with the handoff. Bell tries the right side. Broke a tackle, got inside the 25-yard line. That game you mentioned, the loss to Cincinnati, was followed by the turnaround game, the win over the Chicago Bears. And they have not lost since. 45 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 23. Plummer back to throw. Plummer swings it out. He has Bell in the right flat. Bell is dropped at the 21. Just a short pickup. Down to 25 seconds to play, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are headed to Detroit for Super Bowl 40 to go up against the winner of the NFC Championship game between Carolina and Seattle. Plummer back to throw as time winds down and the season winds down on the Broncos. He couldn't find anybody. Running to his right, he's dumped, and that will do it. That's the last play of the game. Clark Higgins able to make the tackle, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have defeated the Denver Broncos 34-17. And Boomer earlier mentioned that here at Invesco Field there are about 10,000 Steeler fans, and you can hear the cheers as time ran out on the Broncos. So this AFC Championship game,
yes,
won by Denver. And they have made it to the Super Bowl for the 7th time, the first time since 1998, I should say, by Pittsburgh. And the Steelers have made it to the Super Bowl for the 6th time, the first time since 1996, the 2nd time under Bill Cowher. Cowher and the Steelers lost to Dallas in Super Bowl 30 back in 96 in Phoenix, Arizona. Pittsburgh had lost 6 of the last 7 AFC Championship games since they last won the Super Bowl in 1979. Let's check in with John downstairs.
Thank you, Marv Evelyn. With Jerome Bettis. And Jerome, what does this win mean to you and to the Steelers?
It means everything to us. We've been working really hard for a lot of years, and for us to do this finally, it's it's great. And for me personally, in my hometown, it's just great. It's incredible.
Game, baby.
Hey, the whole thing. No doubt. We're going to. But hey, I like how you're resilient, though. You hear me? Keep rocking. You hear me?
Just talking with the Denver Broncos, and how are you able to control the blitz of the Denver Broncos?
Well, we knew what they were going to do. They've been doing it all year, and we had a great game plan. The coaches designed a great game plan, and it worked.
And what about your quarterback? He seems to mature every week.
You can't say anything else about this guy. I mean, last year it was a tough situation. He was a rookie, and I think he's grown light years from last year.
And your road warriors were able to win on the road. John Lynch and Jerome Bettis hugging in the middle of the field. Jerome, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Bye-bye now. All right, Marv, back to you. A little chaotic down here.
And on the subject of chaos, we will go to Boomer over at the set of NFL Today. Boomer?
You know, I'll tell you, Marv, my final thoughts are such that I'm very happy for Jerome Bettis because he's really one of the great all-time guys in the NFL. I'm sure he'll find himself a very nice job in TV next year if, in fact, he does decide to retire. And I'm also happy for Bill Cowher because has to be one of the more underappreciated coaches in all of the NFL because their team is run a lot like the Arizona Cardinals, the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't sign a lot of free agents. They do it through the draft. They got lucky when they got Ben Roethlisberger. He was sitting there. They plucked him out of there. They are always competitive. So two really quality guys in the NFL are going to the Super Bowl, and I couldn't be any happier for them.
And Bill Cowher made the playoffs 10 of his 14 seasons, had carried the rap of not winning the big ones, made it to the Super Bowl in 1995 against Dallas, but lost to the Cowboys. He had lost 4 of 5 AFC championship games, but Bill Cowher and the Steelers are headed back to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Final score, Steelers 34, Broncos 17. Back with the Mitsubishi postgame show in a moment. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood Run.
What are you doing February 5th? How about this?
Welcome to Detroit Metro Airport.
Enter Sprint Super Bowl with the Rolling Stones sweepstakes, and you could win 2 tickets to Super Bowl 40. Plus, get on the field to watch the Rolling Stones halftime show. Visit a Sprint or Nextel store or text WIN to 2695 with Sprint or Nextel service and enter today. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 years of age and a legal U.S. resident to enter. Odds depend on number of entries. For complete rules and details, log on to sprint.com/halftime. Standard text messaging charges apply. Sponsored by Sprint.
I saw the sign next door. I thought the Browns were going to use RE/MAX to sell their home.
They are using RE/MAX. RE/MAX Renowned Properties. That's the luxury home division of RE/MAX.
I didn't know RE/MAX had a luxury home division.
Well, now you do.
Deciding who should sell your high-end home is easier than ever. A RE/MAX Renowned Property Specialist will give your luxury home the marketing advantage it deserves. Visit RE/MAX.com for more information. RE/MAX. Outstanding agents. Outstanding results. Each office independently owned and operated.
Ever wonder who coined the phrase, "We eliminate the middleman"? Well, one thing's pretty certain. It wasn't the middleman. And how did they eliminate him? Something fishy there. But I digress. Geico pioneered direct-to-consumer car insurance over 65 years ago, and they've been saving smart drivers money ever since. Give them a call, and you might ask them, what did they do with the middleman?
Geico's customer satisfaction stands at 97%. How would you rate your car insurance company? Geico, 1-800-947-AUTO. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
The 48th Annual Grammy Awards, Wednesday, February 8th at 8 p.m. Tune in to music's biggest night and see who takes home the Grammy for Best Rock Album. Coldplay, Foo Fighters, The Rolling Stones, U2, or Neil Young. Visit Grammy.com for a complete list of nominees and the latest Grammy news. The 48th Annual Grammy Awards, live, loud, unpredictable. Wednesday, February 8th, 8 p.m. on CBS.
Welcome to the Mitsubishi NFL Playoffs postgame report. Brought to you by the all-new Mitsubishi Raider. A football kind of pickup. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
Back at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver. This is Marv Albert with Boomer Esiason and John Dockery. The Pittsburgh Steelers are headed to Super Bowl number 40. They opened the scoring. Jeff Reed, 47-yard field goal that was early first quarter for a 3-0 lead. What a performance by Ben Roethlisberger. Got it going with a 12-yard touchdown pass to Cedric Wilson, and it was 10-0 in the second quarter. And then Denver on the board. Jason Elam from 23 yards away cut it to 10-3. Jerome Bettis on a 3-yard touchdown run, capping off a 14-play, 80-yard drive that went 7.5 minutes, and the Steelers led 17-3. It was Roethlisberger again. 17-yard touchdown pass play to Hines Ward, and Pittsburgh had a 24-3 lead at the half. Denver did make a run in the second half. Plummer to Ashley Lalee on a 30-yard pass play. It was cut to 24-10. Jeff Reed with a A huge field goal. That made it 27-10 Pittsburgh. This from 42 yards away early in the fourth quarter. Denver came right back. 3-yard touchdown run by Mike Anderson. And that brought it to a 10-point deficit. It was 27-17. And then late in the fourth, Roethlisberger on a 4-yard touchdown run to give Pittsburgh a 34-17 lead, and that's the final. Right here, we'll join Greg Gumbel of CBS in the locker room with the post-game celebration and the presentation of the Lamar Hunt Trophy.
Hall of Famer Bob Greasy, who will present the Lamar Hunt Trophy. Bob. On behalf of the players of the AFC, the coaches, I'd like to present this to you and congratulate you. This is the Lamar Hunt Trophy, emblematic of the champions, the AFC champions for 2005. Congratulations and good luck.
I couldn't hold that. It was a little heavy, but I'm just so pleased with this team. These coaches and players just hung in there the whole time and just were marvelous. This is just one of the great moments in my whole history of the league, and I've been here for a long time.
It's always the case. I know you're proud of the guys that you put on the field that wear the Steeler uniform. Does it feel much different this time than the last few times around?
It feels great today, I'll tell you that. This is great. And the coach already told me we're going to the Super Bowl to win it, not just to be there.
All right, and Mr. Rooney, for you, I know that other than the fact that the trophy is heavy, what are your feelings?
Well, I'm just happy for these great players, great coaches. They've worked so hard, and for the Steeler fans around the country that have been so great through the years.
Congratulations to you both. Have a good trip to Detroit. I'm going to talk to your head coach over here. Coach Bill Cowher, who I have to say, the last couple of weeks that I paid a visit to the Steelers training facility, you guys were loose, you guys were confident, and it showed out there, didn't it?
Oh, it did, Greg. I mean, it's a group of guys, and like I said, how we got here, we were a different team. I mean, we've been a very focused team, and, you know, no matter what's happened, they stay together. It's a close group. We got a young quarterback who doesn't play young, and, you know, we just got a very resilient group. There's a good mix of veteran leadership, young guys, and I can't say enough about our coaching staff. They've done a great job with game plans week in and week out.
Coach, congratulations to you, and good luck in Detroit.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. On this side of me is Pittsburgh quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. First of all, Ben, congratulations. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms were talking about the relative ease with which you solved the Denver defense today. Did it feel that way to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, the offensive line did a wonderful job of giving me time back there. I put the ball out, the receivers made plays. You know, none of it was possible without those guys' help.
Did anything happen today that surprised you, or did things go according to the game plan?
Well, you know, we had a plan. We went out, we worked the plan, and it worked. They came out, give them a lot of credit. They played tough on defense, but overall, you got to give our guys a lot of credit for going out and playing tough.
You're throwing the ball as well as you've thrown it in your brief NFL career.
I'll tell you what, it feels good out there. The ball feels good in my hand. It's coming out. I made a promise to Jerome last year. I said, Bussy, I'm going to get you back to Detroit, and I got him there. That's all I'm happy about.
Yeah, I know he's looking forward to showing you around the city of Detroit.
I can't wait.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it, Ben.
All right, that is 3 straight road wins in the postseason for Ben Roethlisberger, who had a sensational day, 21 of 29, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Let's check today's stats on the ground. Delivered to you by FedEx. For all your shipping needs. For more football action, visit FedExFootball.com. Not much on the ground this afternoon for Denver. Anderson, 9 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Bettis, 15 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. And Parker, 14 attempts for 35 yards. Getting back to the quarterbacks, I mentioned Roethlisberger. Jake Plummer intercepted twice, lost 2 fumbles, 18 for 30, 223 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Pittsburgh, 358 total yards. Denver, 308. Pittsburgh in command all the way. They had the football for 36 minutes. Denver about 23 minutes. So the Pittsburgh Steelers headed to the Super Bowl. They will play the winner between Carolina and Seattle. That is coming up from Seattle shortly right here on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One. We'll continue with more of the postgame from Denver. You're listening to coverage of the NFL playoffs on Westwood One.
Winter time means nippy weather, cozy fires, and skin irritations. Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream. Winter skin it, get the quick fix. Indoor heat it, get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream. It helps stop winter skin irritations fast with 2 maximum strength medicines. Got a wintertime itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream for those winter, parched, dry, irritated itches. It's the quick fix for almost every itch. Use as directed.
After 25 years of marriage, I can't imagine life without Bob. So when his doctor told him his high blood pressure and cholesterol increased his risk of a heart attack, I worried. But I feel better because his doctor recommended Bayer.
Doctors know that Bayer Low Dose can prevent 1 out of 3 heart attacks. And Bayer is the brand that more doctors take for their own hearts. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
We both feel better because I take my Bayer.
You'll feel better, protected by Bayer. Talk to your doctor.
Everyone in the car, the Wallace family vacation is underway.
Yay!
We're here.
We just drove to the curb, Dad.
Gas is expensive, son, so we'll have to make do. Oh, look, a monument.
That's our mailbox. I don't understand.
You're awful, Frank. I'm taking the kids inside.
Well, you'll have to walk.
To save on gas, just use Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver and extend your mileage by an average of 2.3%. Drive more, fill up less with Gum Out Gas Mileage Improver.
Roethlisberger ducks in under. Signals call. He takes. Play action. Back to throw. Can't find anybody. Rolling left. Throws end zone. Caught. Touchdown! In the back of the end zone. 17-yard touchdown pass play from Roethlisberger to Hines Ward. And that gave the Steelers a 24-3 lead right at the end of the first half. That's the RE/MAX outstanding play of the game, brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. And right now, time for our Wrangler 5-star performance of the game. Let's check in with John Dockery. Doc?
I think, Marv, it's got to be Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, what a day he had. I think Bill Cowher put his finger on it when he said, you know, he's a young quarterback, but he doesn't play young. I mean, he's only in his second year, and what a spectacular performance for him today. Some 275 yards, a couple of touchdowns. I mean, he was just did it when he had to do it, and he didn't put his team in jeopardy at any time.
Numbers 21 of 29, 275 yards, and the 2 touchdowns. And Ben Roethlisberger, the second youngest quarterback in the history of the NFL to take his team to the Super Bowl. Dan Marino did it for Miami back in 1984. That's our 5-star performance of the game, brought to you by Wrangler 5-star Premium Denim Jeans. Built strong, built comfortable, built right. Go to Wrangler.com to find out more. Wrangler Real Comfortable Jeans. All right, Doc, time for our Rolaids moment.
Rolaids moment has to be Jake Plummer is the Rolaids guy with his interceptions and fumbles. And that play before the half where he threw the interception and the Steelers converted it into a touchdown, I thought was a killer play of the game.
He has 2 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles for Plummer. And that's our Rolaids moment, brought to you by Extra Strength Rolaids Soft Chews. They're chewy, not chalky, with a taste and texture and acid users prefer. I hear the music. It means we're signing off. The Pittsburgh Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl to face the winner of the NFC Championship game between Carolina and Seattle as the Steelers defeat the Broncos 34-17. Today's broadcast sponsored by Mitsubishi, by Milwaukee Electric Tool, by LiftMaster Garage Door Openers, by Chamberlain, by GMC Trucks, by Blue Diamond Almonds, by Comtrex, by Southwest Airlines, by Barbasol Shaving Cream and Gel, by RE/MAX, by Motorola, by OnStar, by GM, by Score Power from Equifax, by StubHub.com, by Kia Motors, and by NFL.com. We'd like to thank our crew for the afternoon. Studio coordinator Dave Corzin. Production assistance provided by Doug Strauss, Kent Fonda, and Brendan McNicholas. Our spotter, Savino Rubalcaba. Statistician, Mr. Stats, Elliot Cow. Our engineer, Bob Greenfield. And our producer, Howard Deneroff. The executive producer of Westwood 1 is Chris Castleberry. Stay tuned for Game 2 of our Championship Sunday doubleheader right here on Westwood 1. Up next, the NFC title game between the Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. Joel Myers, John Riggins, and Rick Walker standing by to bring you all the action. Again, the final score from Invesco Field here at Mile High in Denver. The Pittsburgh Steelers 34 and the Denver Broncos 17. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl. They had lost 6 of the last 7 AFC championship games since they last won the Super Bowl back in 1979. They are making their way back. Now for Boomer, for John, Tommy Tighe, I'm Marv Albert. Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to the AFC championship game on Westwood One.
Every Wednesday, United Way Day, Big Talk with Big John, WELE, Ormond Beach, Florida.
Back out to Denver now. Our friends at the NFL Network taking over the coverage. Steelers head coach Bill Cowher is at the podium.
I'll just say this. I mean, I can't give enough credit to our coaching staff, to our players, and that was a good Denver Bronco football team. You know, Mike Shanahan, Mr. Bull, and class acts. And to be able to come in here and do this is a tribute to the players that are out there on our field today. And we got a resilient group. We had a young quarterback who didn't play young today, and I can't say enough about this football team. You know, we've kind of traveled a hard road, but I think in the course of it, we probably grew as a football team and grew individually, and you know, now we have an opportunity, and hopefully we can finish this season off, you know, with one more win, and that'll be our intentions.
Coach, can you talk about how Ben's really carried this team that, yeah, he's so young and so inexperienced?
Well, you know what? I mean, he is, and, you know, he's a very composed, you know, he's a guy, and you could see it, I mean, just from last year to this year, I mean, it's just night and day, and, you know, I think throughout the course of these playoffs, you know, and I think with our football team, we've had really great weeks of work, and I was saying the other day, it's probably been as healthy as we've been all year. We're playing our best football at the right time of year. It was tough to do what we had to do, to go to the 3 places we went to and 3 quality teams and to win those games. They were all challenges, one in itself, but this is, like I said, a very resilient group of guys, a very grounded group of guys. We've never taken anything for granted. We've never looked beyond the next game, I think it's allowed us to have a great focus just for that challenge of that week. So, you know, I give a lot of credit. You know, we've kind of been tunnel vision throughout the course of this process.
You know, obviously, that's on the road, even during the regular season. What's been the key?
You know, maybe the focus has been greater. You know, maybe the sense of urgency has always been there. Sometimes you play at home, you just kind of think that you're going to have it because of the crowd. And you look at the crowd and see how tough it is. And, you know, we kind of looked at that as a challenge. You know, we've been, you know, pretty much underdogs every game we've gone into. And, you know, and these guys kind of relish that position.
Bill, you've been pretty upfront about the fact that it's an honor to look at your AFC championship record. Can you talk a little bit about moving forward a little bit?
But you know what? It has a nod on me, but it is what it is. You know, and I can't do anything about that. I mean, I just don't want other people to be, you know, stuck to me. I mean, don't label other people. You can say what you want about me and the failures I've had, and that's fine, and I understand it. That's part of this business, and it doesn't bother me. You know, I try to seize each year and take each game, and with this group of guys, and try to make them be as good as they can be. And we have a great coaching staff and a group of guys that work. So, you know, like I said, I mean, we need to go and win one more game. You know, no one ever remembers the loser of the Super Bowl.
When you lost those 3 in a row, late November, early December, what do you think turned it after that point that you guys got in this role?
Well, I mean, we had no margin of error. You know, we had to come back and get back to basics and try to make everybody accountable, you know, and I think that was the biggest thing, is not look around, but just look within. And I think these guys were able to do that. The Chicago game was a big game for us because we came out, kind of reestablished our identity as a running football team. And, you know, we were just starting to get Ben back at that time, too. And so our passing game has started to evolve since he came back from his injuries. You know, those 3 losing games, we started 3 different quarterbacks in each one of those games. And I think the fact that we've been able to have everyone healthy, we've been able to practice, and you can just tell in practice that, you know, we've had some of the best practices even going back to training camp these last 3 or 4 weeks.
Have you felt any different as a coach in this playoff?
No, I guess you feel like, you know, the experience of having been there. I think there's something to be said for that. You know, like I said, last year was very much there, and I think that very much with our football team. You know, I think a lot of guys, no one was looking at anything more than this game. And like I said, a lot of things will be defined come Monday. you know, so don't worry about that. And these guys, I think there's a lot of guys that went through last year, didn't want to go through that same feeling again, because you worked too hard to get here. And, you know, I want to just make sure they remember that also from now until, you know, 2 weeks from today, because, like I said, no one remembers the loser of the Super Bowl.
So tell me about your emotions for Jerome Bettis.
Well, I got so much respect for Jerome and what he has brought to this football team. You know, my relationship with him is a very special one. He's a classy guy, and he has been an inspiration for our football team. And we wanted to send him off. He came back for one more year. Everyone kind of talked about the Detroit thing, but that really had been put aside. And but it is very fitting that we're going back to his hometown.
The only protection we afforded your quarterback today, not just from the line, but from your backs as well. Did you put in more time this week preparing for Denver's rush than you normally would?
No, but I think one of the best things that happened to us was playing in Indianapolis on Monday night. From that game on, I think that we realized that we had to get a little bit of a better plan against the noise. And really, I think from that time on, we went up to Minnesota, I think a couple weeks later, and never had much of an issue. And so I just think that, you know, that's helped a lot. You know, we've gone into some arenas right now. We've had plenty of experience right now going to some of these places. Indianapolis last week was loud. Cincinnati was loud the first playoff game. So I think that in itself, when you get in there and you start hearing the people, we heard the people today, was just, you almost start to feel like we're at home, because it seems like we've been there for like the last 5 out of 6 weeks.
Bill, Porter played his best football the last 2 months.
Well, he's just an inspiration out there. Our linebackers as a whole, those guys, they play with so much emotion and lost their composure a little bit today, I know, but they play so hard. And you know, Joey's just, as you can see, he's a leader for our football team, and him and Clark, I thought they did a great job today of setting the edges against Jake.
Bill, when you talk about the game, Ben, a chance to really open things up, just to show confidence in him, obviously.
Well, it's easy when he throws the ball the way he's throwing it. You know, I mean, we'd do that earlier, but, you know, he's had some issues he's had to work through with his hand, with his knee. And so we're trying to bring him along slowly. And at the same time, we like to think that our running game is going to be there, that, you know, you get into a situation where you can get a lead, that you can shorten the game. And, you know, we try to do that today, not real successfully there in the third and fourth quarter. We had a couple of squandered field positions that we had, but, you know, Ben has made big throws. You know, we've had to have him. I mean, he did that last year. You know, you talk about him throwing 20 times, but, you know, over half of those are going to be third down plays. So we put a lot more pressure on him, I think, by not throwing as much. And but he's a selfless guy, and, you know, he'll do whatever you ask him to do, and it's been pretty good so far.
Well, when Ben was drafted out of Miami of Ohio, which a lot of people perceived as a lower level of competition, he was expected to sit on the bench and learn for a year, then maybe take over. With that in mind, are you kind of surprised at his level of his development?
You almost have to be to a certain extent, but when you get around Ben, he's much more mature than his age would indicate. He is very much in control. He's a great competitor. He's got a great feel for the game, and he's got a lot of self-confidence. And so, you know, this kid's been successful, you know, all his life. I don't think he knows what, you know, not having success is. And I certainly want to be part of, you know, a team that shows him that. So we're going to keep riding his coattails, and hopefully there's a lot more to come.
So was going to set up Wilson part of the game plan going in, or was that something that you found as the game unfolded?
Back here at Sirius NFL Radio headquarters in New York, Jason Page, just past the bottom of the hour. A short time from now, we'll take you to the Seattle Seahawks Call NFC title game at Quest Field. Seahawks and the Panthers will take you out there when that one is about to get started. Right now, back to Bill Cowher, the NFL Network postgame press conference.
One of those guys, I think if you define it for him, it makes his decision-making easy. So we just try to mix some things up. And, you know, obviously near the second half there, we just didn't want to give up some big plays, and we went to that 3-down look. So, but, you know, we mix it up. We can bring pressure off that as well, but just the situation did dictate it, and so we did what we did.
Well, it seems that teams in this league change coaches every 3-4 years. Why have you been able to be the exception to that?
Well, you got to look at the ownership. I mean, I don't think there's any question. Don't look any further than that. And, you know, Mr. Rooney's a football guy. He understands this business. He understands it's hard to sustain a high level for a long period of time. He was very supportive through those, you know, 3 non-playoff years. And I am very appreciative of that, and I will always understand that and appreciate that patience. And there's nothing I would like greater, and nothing drives me more than to hopefully be able to hand him that 5th trophy. And if I can do that, then I would think that when he brought me here, I finally accomplished what he wanted me to do. And nothing would make me more satisfied than to be able to do that.
So the first half, you guys scored every time you had the ball. In the one possession, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, hit them all. Is that about a good offense you could have had in the first half?
Well, and it was big. We talked about coming in that, and like you said, there was one on 3rd and shorts, and we made some big throws, and Ben did a good job of just taking what they give us. His decision-making was great. I mean, I thought sometimes a little bit, early he was starting to try to force one. We got lucky on that first one, the champ. I mean, he jumped it, and Hines made a great catch on that, and it's like, oh, let's not go there now. Just be careful with this thing, So, and he did. I mean, he's good. I mean, he, like I said, Ben was very much in control of himself out there.
How thankful are you that he was available when you drafted?
We were fortunate. Pardon me?
Did you think you would be back then?
I can't remember. I mean, we were hoping at the time, but.
So your challenge came awfully early in the game, the really partial fumble. Did that play into the fact that it's so early in the game, or was it more just the case that you had pretty good visual evidence? Well, I got pretty good talk. I didn't see it, but the guys upstairs said it was definitely that his elbow hit, and it's a pivotal. I mean, this was not a football team we could afford to fall behind, and we talked how important that was. This football team had a tremendous scoring margin over their opponents in the first half, like 224 to 108 or something in the season. And if you fall behind against them with Jay Plummer and all the bootlegs, it's going to be in for a long day. So we talked very much the importance of starting fast and taking them out. A little bit like last week when you faced Indianapolis. They were a little bit different, but this was a team that had not been behind a lot, and we really talked about trying to start fast.
Bill, how about you talk about turnovers and creating them and not having them?
Well, that was big because they were a plus 20 coming in. They were number 4 in the league in takeaways, fewest giveaways, and I thought